Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Alternative Rewind, where alt rock began. R.E.M., The Cure, Depeche Mode, Pretenders, Talking Heads, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alternative Rewind, and listen now. iHeartRadio, free never sounded so good.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raided. It's football time in America. And this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk. Live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We are back home.
We're back, and I feel like crap.
Jeremy, apparently, every time he travels north, gets a sinus infection.
I do.
So,
why do we live in a place that has so many trees? Like, they make this toxic thing that, like, keeps bees alive, and it makes me feel like crap.
He does not feel great today, but I'd pull it all together here for the recap of the big trip to Indianapolis, Indiana for the 2024 NFL Combine against the trip presented by Ingalls Markets. We are we cannot thank them enough for helping us out on making that little journey and getting in the room. Felt really weird. I'll be honest with you, it felt really weird. When Jeremy in the middle of a segment goes, "Hey, Rich Eisen's right behind you." Oh, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Because, yeah, it's hard not to get awestruck around things. And, we saw some fantastic performances.
Well, we saw, not the least of which was an NFL head coach. But that's something I can't talk about. That might be for an uncensored broadcast.
He's just out looking on the free agent market, right? And
look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take,
right?
Bruh.
He's thinking about franchise tagging, wasn't really sure. Anyhow, we had a lot of fun on the trip. Xavier Worthy, he's got to be. I mean, he's the highlight of the weekend. He set the new record.
Is he, though?
It is. It's the biggest thing that happened at the Combine. It's the thing that everybody cares the most about, is the 40 times. And he broke the record. You got to give him his credit, breaking the record from John Ross. The 4.21.40.
Does that really change where it's going to change where he goes. And he'll go higher in this mock draft than he should. But you do get that he weighs about $140, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, he's one of the fastest people on the planet. He's also one of the lightest people on the planet. He better not play in Chicago because one stroke gets to win and he'll just blow away.
Well, how much bigger? I mean, how much smaller is he than Devontae Smith when he came in?
He's 22 pounds lighter than John Ross.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay.
Think about what I just said.
I know we talked about several guys being slight when they come into the league, and he can bulk up. He'll be fine. It's the fastest man on the planet right now, or at least in the history of the NFL Combine.
Well, here's my question: as a receiver, can he catch a damn thing? Because he struggled with that at Texas.
He can, and he'll be a first-round talent.
No, he'll never be a first-round talent.
He will be a first-round pick because of the 40 time.
Yeah, there's a big old difference between those two things.
Other news coming out of the combine. We talked about this while we were up there. It seems that the days go by that we are closer and closer, correct, to Justin Fields' deal.
I believe so. We're doing the 3-round mock draft today. I will go ahead and tell you there is a Justin Fields trade in the mock, and it is to a team pretty close to here.
Not the Atlanta Falcons that's being reported?
It is.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's because that's the one that's being reported. That the Atlanta Falcons are going to get Justin
There's
Fields.
only two places that Justin Fields can go, and I broke them down. I broke down what both of those deals would look like, and the one that makes way more sense to me, because there was another player at the combine who had just a whale of a time. If anybody had more fun at the 2024 NFL combine than Jeremy Greene, it was this quarterback, because he made a boatload of money. And how much money, you ask? 11 whole crap loads. That's what he made.
And which one was that?
We will talk about that as we go through the
indeed.
He's
well,
way higher in this year mock draft than he was in the previous one.
It is a mock draft Monday post NFL Combine mock draft. Jeremy Greene, the Chicago Bears will make the trade. Correct?
Yes.
They will make the trade. They will send Justin Fields to the Atlanta Falcons. They keep the number 1 pick.
Yes.
And with the number 1 pick, they would select.
Felt good for you to hit your button.
Yep, it did.
Caleb Williams, quarterback out of USC.
Bad mistake, or too soon to tell? Is that what you're saying?
No.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Caleb Williams being because some look at him and go, he's overrated. He's a head case. Is this just another Chicago Bears punting of the number 1 pick?
I'll be honest with you. I told you going into the combine, I was not in love with Caleb Williams. I absolutely love how he handled a lot of things there. I thought he was phenomenal on the podium. I didn't really hear a lot of negative, and I heard a lot of things that they may be overblown. I'll just put it this way. We were real close to a lot of people from Chicago. I got a lot of things on Caleb Williams that I did not know. I had a lot of things debunked. My problem with him is the expectations. It always has been. It probably always will be. But you look at the situation he's going into there in Chicago, and I don't know that you could ask for better. You're in a division that I don't think is great. Minnesota is awful. Detroit's bringing the band back together, but they still can't stop anybody. And Green Bay is, I don't know what Green Bay is. Green Bay makes my head hurt.
Well, eventually you have to find a quarterback at some point. We said it when Justin Fields got drafted to the Chicago Bears. Without even taking a snap, he may be the best quarterback in the modern era of the Chicago Bears. And now they're going to do it again.
Here's the question that I was asked by Bears Insider. Is Caleb Williams better than Justin Fields?
I would say yes.
The answer to me is yes, and it's an unequivocal yes. That's all he has to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he has to be. They were a borderline playoff team with Justin Fields, who is getting ready to become expensive, and with moving him, you add capital. So, I mean, to me, it's not that hard to figure out. I didn't hear a soul the entire week in Indianapolis say anybody but Caleb Williams was going number 1 and that he was going anywhere but to the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is pretty simple. It's from there that it becomes a little bit more difficult to read.
At number 2, the Washington Commanders have the pick. I'm not going to play the sound because this is going to get really redundant if I do it every time.
Yeah.
So at number 2, is it Drake May, or are they going something else?
It is Drake May. It is Drake May. I basically, it was universal that Drake May had distanced himself from Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy this week, and he has placed himself ahead of Sam Howell. There is another layer to that I will get to later on in this here mock draft.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what has changed, or maybe I'm just looking at the wrong sources here, but I've seen 3 mock drafts since yesterday, since the post-combine mock drafts.
Did any of them come from a place called Yahoo? Because Yahoo is really well named. Because that's the dumbest 10,000 words I have ever seen printed on a page.
I have seen 3 different ones from 3 different sources. One of them may have been on Yahoo, but
I didn't say Yahoo. I refuse to call it Yahoo. It is Yahoo from here on out.
They all had Jaden Daniels going at the 2nd pick. Was his combine that good?
No.
Or his appearance that good for anything to change?
He was fine. What I was told and what I experienced is that Drake May was so good in the room that somebody's going to fall in love with him, and don't be shocked if it's Josh Harris.
Okay.
Don't be shocked if Josh Harris, who was interjecting himself into these combine interviews, don't be shocked if he walked in, saw Drake May, and went, "That's my guy."
Mm-hmm. So, unlike the pre-combine mock draft where you had the Atlanta Falcons trading up to number 2 to get the quarterback, now...
it's funny you say that because I feel like number 3 is a spot where a trade-up makes sense.
Okay.
But I'm not going to do it, and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the team. Name me the team.
That would trade up to 3?
This came from one of our live streams at the Combine. Somebody overheard something I said, and when I walked away from the table, they came up to me and asked a very simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the team that would trade up? Because, see, something happened at the Combine that none of us expected. Michael Penix got a full, clean bill of health and had a frozen rope of an arm, which I had already seen in Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy's up there, too. So now you have 5. You have 5 quarterbacks that are legit. How many teams do you have that need a quarterback? How many of them are going to feel that much better about Jaden Daniels, who some will say is a system quarterback, some will say is not an ideal fit into all these systems? Who is the team that's going to do it? It's the same thing I'll say about Washington. You can get a 3rd or 4th round pick for Sam Howell. I am not sure which one. I did not get a consensus on that. I don't think you can get nearly for the 2nd pick what you think you can get. Because outside of Joe Alt, who's the player I will go get that there's not another player that's in the ballpark?
Yeah.
Michael Penix is in the ballpark at Jaden Daniels, according to evaluators. I'm not saying this is what I think. This is the consensus I got out of that room.
Right, how they're being received.
J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels are all pretty similar.
Yeah, I can't give you one. Because if that is true, and that's how they're all looking at this now, I'm not saying you're lying to me. I'm just saying if all is true and they do have the quarterbacks pretty close, nobody's making that deal. Nobody's giving up the capital. I guess you'll be in the bad situation of maybe he'll fall. So the New England Patriots would hang on to 3.
This one was tough, not because I didn't know the position. I know what position's going to go here. You get enough smart people in a room that tell you it's going 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's going 1, 2, 3. It's just the way it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is who is the quarterback, and I'm not going to lie to you. I came way closer to putting Michael Penix in here than I ever would have thought.
Really?
I am dumbfounded how many people are just drunk in love with him now that he's gotten a clean bill of health. I did not do that, but I'm not going to lie. I probably thought more about this pick than any others in the 100 that we're going to discuss here today.
Never in a million years. I don't see them. I don't see them as equals, as prospects. Players currently maybe, but Penix is older and he's got an injury history that I just could not deal with.
Well, it's funny because the doctors just basically said he has as clean a bill of health as any other quarterback in this class.
That's crazy.
It's not. I mean, look, modern medicine is a crazy thing.
I get it. Blow that knee out twice, and it's hard to convince me that it's going to be okay for the future. But doctors say.
How many quarterbacks have we seen do it multiple times?
Sure. All right, so what are they going to do at 3?
Jaden Daniels, quarterback LSU. I can't bring myself to put Penix ahead of him, but I know there are teams that feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
There are teams that really feel like those two are awfully close. And there's a possibility that Michael Penix goes way higher than we think.
All right, you got thoughts on the mock draft? Hit us up in the YouTube comments. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you get into the chat. I think that's going to set up nicely for our good friend Red Sea.
It is.
Because he's the Cardinals fan, and he's been shooting daggers at you ever since you brought up the possibility that Marvin Harrison Jr. would not be there for the Arizona Cardinals.
I now don't really – I'm not going to say I don't see a path because we are still early. From what I gathered, much of which with a cocktail in my hand at the 2024 NFL Combine, because that's where you catch a lot of, okay, this is off the record. You're not going to put my name on it. This is where we're at. Marvin Harrison – the difference between Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, and Rome Odunze is what? Okay, if you're going to quantify it. If Marvin Harrison is a 9.8 on a scale of 10, what is Rome Odunze?
9.4?
9.6.
Okay.
And there are people that think
Close.
Malik Neighbors is better than both of them. That was Yahoo had Washington taking Malik Neighbors at 2. And I went, oh, so we woke up this morning and went, we're going to smoke crumbs. We're going to smoke crumbs and top some stuff. Let's go.
Sometimes it's the best way to start your day.
I do think there is a difference. I don't necessarily think it is as big of a difference as a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see a way that Harrison doesn't go in the top 4. And I would say now it's probably a 95% chance that he goes at 4 to Arizona.
Yes. All right.
Which leads you to the final pick in the top 5 and the one with the greatest amount of intrigue.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
We thought this was no doubt, they're just going to take Brock Bowers.
Yes.
You know, it's weird. I didn't have anybody whose opinion I respect say that to me the entire week.
Really?
Because it was basically, yes, Brock Bowers plays a position that Jim Harbaugh likes. He doesn't play it the way that Jim Harbaugh likes.
Yeah, he's not a blocker.
No. And look, he talked on the podium. We were literally right there in front of Brock Bowers. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, I'm going to work on being a better blocker. The problem is that to play tight end in the NFL for a coach like Jim Harbaugh, you have to be good at that right now. I believe there is no team in the NFL that would more like to trade out of a top 5 pick than the Chargers. I don't think you have a trade partner.
Mm-hmm.
We do this every single time we go through these mock drafts and we start working through the process and we go, well, you got to have 4 trades in the top 10. But what if you don't? And we've had years that way. I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of those years. And so if the Chargers get stuck there, what do? And for me, it's not even a debate.
Tackle.
Joe Alt.
Yep.
Joe Alt, not close.
Mm-hmm.
Dude runs a 5.04 at 6'8", 322 or something like that?
Something like that.
He was a house.
Yeah.
Did you see him?
I think he hit, I think he was at 5'11". It was Amarius Mims that hit 5'07".
He might have been 5'11".
On his.
I've got the full list over here somewhere, but
I can check it for you right now.
I don't think there's enough. There's so much supply that I don't know that the demand is going to catch up to it.
5:05.
I was about to say, I think you're too high.
I think what I saw was the
Unofficial.
first run or something. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he ran a 5:05.
I was about to say he's a 5.0 something. I was pretty sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
At a house, he walked by me. And now look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I am a BDD. I'm a big damn dude.
Mm-hmm.
There are not a lot of people that walk by me that I go, good Lord, you could pick me up and burp me like a baby. Joe Alt could pick me up and burp me like a baby.
Right.
He walked by me and I went, who is that? Because I looked in the guide. He was wearing the no bull shirt, which said offensive tackle. I think he was like 4'3" or something low. So I knew his name started with a low. And I started looking at his face. I went, that's Joe Alt. Good gravy. You are just a big old biggin. Then I watched him run the 40 yesterday and went, well, of course a dude that big can run like that. Yeah. That makes sense.
They all, I mean, I was shocked at a lot of the times for the linemen yesterday.
Why?
I don't know.
We
It's
do
just,
here.
I I guess because every year I do the same thing of these guys are so damn big. How are they so quick? How are they so fast? How are they so agile at 6'8", 340 and 6'7", 320? And it's just baffling to me. The 5'11", by the way, that I saw earlier today, I knew it was a name that I needed to remember. It was Olafashanu, who had a good day yesterday too. All the top tackles pretty much had really good combines. Joe Alt coming off the board in the post-NFL Combine mock draft here by Flostradamus Jeremy Greene, number 5 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
But we've only just begun. We don't even have a trade yet. But we're gonna have a couple of them. And a couple of them may involve teams that you're not suspecting.
Post-Combine thoughts and mock draft continuing next here on ESPN Asheville.
Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you, so you can walk and run and climb stairs and play golf and move again pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. This is an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. Take action now and live your best life this spring and summer. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. Y'all gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your bed. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
What's up? I'm John Wall.
And I'm CJ Toledano, and we're starting a new podcast presented by DraftKings called Point Game.
Hey, you know, like at camps and stuff like this, you take the ball out. You ain't getting the ball back. Like, you the last one up in court. They already did their thing. So I stopped there, and I just got into a rhythm and started hooping.
If King of the Court happened next season, who do you think would win?
I just think KD, bro. Like, there's nothing you can do with him.
Check out Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The madness begins in Asheville. Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville, March 7th through 11th for the 2024 Ingalls SoCon Basketball Championships. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville box office. Get your tickets today.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is ESPN Asheville, and we are back in the Sportsocracy. It is a mock draft Monday following the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine.
I mean, we have one winner that nobody's talked about, at least that I've heard.
Oh, good Lord. Go ahead.
That's Jeremy's mouth.
Yeah.
Because you know what I found while we were in Indy? It's a Reese's dipped animal cracker. It kind of tastes like a Nutter Butter if a Nutter Butter was even more awesome than it already was. So that's a thing.
Yeah.
I brought home a lot of bags of these. Like a lot.
Just had
Andy
to
opened
have
my
it.
suitcase and went, did they have a sale somewhere? Nope. Just never seen them before.
Nope. Just need those snacks. Yeah, Indianapolis, pretty cool place. There's some things that we don't up there. You know what I was asked for when I got home that I did not do? St. Elmo's cocktail sauce.
Oh, my.
We completely forgot to go get some to take it home to the wives.
I trended on their social media page.
You did.
I really wondered why people kept calling me shrimp cocktail. I thought that maybe somebody had talked to my ex-wife. I didn't know.
Nope. They just watched you cry.
They did. Yeah. They watched me cry on air. They watched my brain absolutely fall out of my ears.
As he shoved a giant prawn into his face that was basically just adorned with fire. Because when you eat it like that, then that's exactly what that is. You have to take it in small doses.
What they didn't, the great listeners of this show didn't see is that the girls from Enjoy Indy just kept bringing me things to see my reactions, which I thought was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Back into the mock draft after the combine.
We got our first super chat of the day. It's from our buddy Pennywise. It's his member milestone chat. Yeah. If the Commanders keep Howell, would they take Alt or MHJ?
I'll say Alt.
I will not. I will say it would be Marvin Harrison.
Really?
Yes.
How are you going to build that offensive line?
With the 843 picks you have in the second and third round. Don't worry. I'm going to get to that real soon.
real soon. Number 6 pick here. Gone through the top 5. New York Football Giants.
This is one of those picks that I don't think you're getting told the truth. I really don't. I saw Eat and Sleep Football really loves Malik Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing he can't do. I'm just going to tell you, I didn't talk to a scout that had him ahead of who I'm getting ready to take here.
Okay.
And it's Roma Dunze. The Giants need an outside receiver, not a guy that plays out of the slot that much because they already have Wan'Dale Robinson. I need somebody that can win over the top. And even though we didn't see these guys run, I developed a very quick consensus that Marvin Harrison Jr. was 1, Roma Dunze was 2, Malik Neighbors was 3. We all have them pretty close, but that's the order almost all of us have them in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a slight at Neighbors. It's really not. It's more of a, you had some advantages that the other two didn't. And before you tell me how good the receivers were at Ohio State, hey, when's Emeka Egbuka getting drafted in this? Oh, wait.
Not for a long time.
He's not.
At all?
He's not in this class. He went back to Ohio State.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah, he went back to Ohio State
drafted at some
because
point.
he spent a whole year looking at their quarterback. Could you suck less, please? Could you just try to be less awful than you are?
I hope he likes Will Howard.
Could it be any worse than what he had last year?
I don't know that I
quarterback
expected to be so much better, but
that quarterback had to settle for going to Syracuse.
Your point is well taken with that. The Tennessee Titans at number 7. What are they going to do now?
I don't feel like this would be a run to the podium, but I don't think it would take him a great long time.
Fashanu?
Malik Neighbors.
Oh, okay.
Here's the problem. Look, we all know that I like Fashanu. I've been very open and honest about that. I got a quick consensus that he ain't viewed that way in league circles.
Okay.
That there are a lot of teams that, to them, it's Joe Alt and then. Then every other offensive lineman has a big ward. And anytime I've ever heard that before, it leads to one guy going higher than you think, and the rest of them go lower than you think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure that Tennessee in this scenario, especially with how many tackles really, they were good enough for you to go, okay, we got a shot of, maybe we only have a handful in the first round, but I would say there's probably 10 that go in the top 75. And I think they can address the offensive line in the second round. But here you get an elite playmaker. You get an elite playmaker that is just an absolute dog.
So that begs the question, what will happen at number 8 for the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, and 8 for me is where I feel as though we have to discuss the fact that we have a trade.
Okay.
That's where Justin Fields lands. It's with the Atlanta Falcons. That's the team that makes sense. The Luke Getsy thing, there is a positive to that in that they know each other. There's also a negative of that he didn't fit in that offense particularly well. I'm not sure that the Raiders won't look at the price and go, I can have 5 years of team control of a quarterback at 13 by just sitting in place. And that's better to me because I think they're more equivalent players than people think than giving up 2 pieces of draft capital for Justin Fields. Atlanta, on the other hand, I would have to overdraft somebody. If I take a guy at 8, I'm overdrafting a quarterback, or I'm going to have to trade up, or with Fields, I can hold on to him for a year. And in the scenario, they give up 43 and a conditional 4th-round pick in 2025. I'm not going to say that was a consensus, but that was the most common trade package I heard over the course of the week.
Mm-hmm.
If he leaves me in 2 years, I'm going to get a 3rd-round pick back for him anyway. Or I'll be able to do the same thing. I get him cheap for 2 years and then parlay him before we ever have to pay him. All of those things are on the table, and I get 2 years of the best quarterback that I can physically put in here. The one thing, and I heard it a lot, that could throw a wrench into this, and it could really burn the Bears, is if Kirk Cousins wants to play in Atlanta. Because Atlanta apparently really likes him. The question is, does he really like them? And I don't necessarily see that. Kirk's happy where he is. He likes it in Minnesota. He likes it with Justin Jefferson. He likes it with Jordan Addison.
Mm-hmm.
He likes it with TJ Hawkinson. I'm not sure he's looking for his exit strategy. I know a lot of Viking fans are looking for his. I'm not so sure that's where he's at.
And he's always been, I've always thought that that's going to be something that he is going to smooth over. Whatever the number is, they'll come to a mutual agreement. He's not going to want to go to a run-heavy scheme in Atlanta. I don't think Drake London and Kyle Pitts are I don't know that they fit each other. Does that make sense?
No.
Like, I just don't see them stretching the field as much.
No, they need somebody that can stretch the field. But you have two Kyle Pitts can stretch the field. It's just he's used more as a receiver. I'm curious to see how he is used in this new system. I will tell you, I was at Raheem Morris's media availability, and I think he said Bijan Robinson's name 543 times.
Yes.
It was almost like he was using it as a comma. Happy to be here, Bijan Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
So glad to be coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Bijan Robinson.
Because that's the number one tweet that he got when it was announced. Oh, are you going to ignore our number 1 draft pick from last year too?
No, sir.
No,
sir, I'm not.
So what does Atlanta do?
Well, that leaves you at 8. And there is a guy that had a really good week that I think distanced himself just a little bit. Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there is a better chance now that you get. I heard a lot of varying opinions about the edge guys. The one thing that never really seemed to change is that Dallas Turner was the one. Now, I did hear some varying opinions about the other 2. I just think Dallas he ran so well. The athletic testing was crazy, and you put him on a defense like this, I can just go see ball, get ball. And he fits it so nicely.
Yep. Dallas Turner, the edge rusher out of Alabama, ran a combine 40 times faster than Derrick Henry. He had a 40.5-inch vertical leap and a 10.7 broad jump.
That's
dude's an athletic freak.
He's special. He's an ADD. Athletic damn dude.
And as the Chicago Bears at the top of the draft, hoping that they eventually will hit on a quarterback, I feel like Atlanta has just as much luck drafting edge rushers. as Chicago does drafting quarterbacks. So hopefully both of these picks will work out better in their favor. So at number 9.
This is where I throw probably my first wrench. Because there's a guy that didn't get the love, and I've heard some varying reports that some teams liked one edge rusher better than the other. Yeah, it's funny. That's not what I heard at all, and I was in a lot of these rooms. This is the Chicago Bears, their original pick. Jared Verse, edge rusher, Florida State. He came in and went nanners. Now, Tank, you can attest to what I'm getting ready to say. We pride ourselves on being no bull hockey. And when we were in the room with the most NFL decision makers, what was Jeremy wearing?
Jet stuff.
Nope.
What?
I was wearing a Florida State pullover.
Oh, that's right.
To the point that the coaching staff of the Atlanta Falcons, I'm pretty sure, still thinks that I'm a coach at Florida State. Don't know which one, but one of them picked me up off the ground, and then we did boosters together.
I do remember that.
That was an interesting part of my life. And now we also have each other's phone numbers, and I'm not sure that my name was saved the right way. I had so many people come to me and tell me Verse is the guy in this class that's not getting the respect he deserves, and I don't know why. I don't get it. He came in and ran fast. He was really good in the athletic drills. And I will tell you this. Did you notice that nobody said the same thing about Leatu Latu and his medical that they said about Michael Penix Jr.?
Yes.
There's a reason. There are some teams that like him better as a talent, but they are absolutely petrified of the medical. And I'm not so sure that you're not. Who's 4? All right, so you got Turner at 1. For me, you got Verse at 2. Now, I've actually got Verse at 1, but I'm a little different. And Latu at 3. Who's the next edge rusher?
Chop Robinson.
Chop, and when we get to that pick, I will explain to you why that is a very specific team that's going to. There's a huge drop-off between those 3.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, it'll be time to get to Jeremy's favorite pick of the 2024 NFL Draft.
It'll be the time when I find the new person that I'm going to be best friends with, and we're going to do karate in the garage.
Number 10 pick belongs to the New York Football Jets. We will have that pick for you in the post-2024 NFL Combine Mock Draft next here in the Sportsocracy.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Silk. Feel plenty good. Shop wherever you find groceries. Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness to help you feel plenty good. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
Asheville Smiles has been featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands. I apologize for those tears at your office. Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Marine litter is often the result of poorly managed trash on land. To help prevent trash from escaping from your outdoor trash bins on collection day, keep the trash bin lid closed. Don't overflow it, and put it out for pickup shortly before the scheduled pickup time. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alternative Rewind, where all rock began. Just search Alternative Rewind and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from. White Haze, Eat Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio.
Gonna be a mock draft.
It's a mock draft Monday.
Draft.
Post-combine experience. Again, thanks to Ingalls Markets for letting us have a little fun last week. And
it was outrageous. I'll never miss another combine. I don't care if I have to walk there. Which Google really wanted to tell me how long it was going to take. Every time I searched directions, you could walk there in 11 days. Okay. I would. So at what point there do I die of a heat exhaustion? Because I don't know that I would have made it out of North Carolina. I think I'd have gotten to about Waynesville and just been like, and boop.
We are in the middle of the first round of the post-2024 NFL Scouting Combine mock draft. And Jeremy, your Jets are on the clock here at number 10.
They are, and they have 2 guys that I know they just so happen to be pretty fond of. The question is, which one are they going to take? And for me, it's not that hard to figure out. It's the one that can play left tackle, which is Ola Fashanu. Yes, I do get that Talise Fuaga was, I'm not going to say he was a winner, but he was impressive during the combine week. I still keep coming back to the Jets need a pass blocker because they haven't had one of those, I think, since DeBrickashaw Ferguson. And I don't think his inability in the run game is going to matter all that much. I think it's misleading for one. And I think Fashanu's he's the second best tackle in this class. Fuaga plays on the right. And I'm not sure that that's what the Jets look, because for me, it's a question of which would I rather have. Vera Tucker in his natural guard spot with Fashanu on the left, or now I've got to move Vera Tucker to the left and play Fuaga on the right, and I got to find 2 guards. I don't like that. If Fashanu falls, I'll do it if I have to, but I will take Fashanu over everybody else. And Mel Kiper put Brock Bowers to the Jets at 10, which I love Brock. Now, just shave it, bro. That hairline is hanging on for grim death. Get you a Gillette, best man can get. He ain't gonna be a Jet. If they draft another tight end, there's a part of the fan base that would mutiny.
Got to go after that offensive lineman. You got to protect your quarterback. At some point, you got to learn the lesson, right? You got to add the talent to the line, somebody that's going to protect him rather than adding another target, which wouldn't be bad, but one's a little more important than the other, at least for the next 2 years.
No
anyway.
doubt. You got to build it up for Aaron Rodgers. I know they met with quarterbacks at the draft. That's more in case somebody falls. If somebody falls, they might look to do something stupid for the future, but they're not doing it.
I was going to say, if it's going to be like Jaden Daniels.
If Jaden Daniels somehow fell to 25, then I think the Jets would start making calls of, hey, we'll give you next year's first rounder. We'll have 2. Can't do anything there. So could we interest you in this lovely 25 model? And the answer to that is going to be not even a little bit.
Or do the Jets pull the old, the old Green Bay Packers and just draft a quarterback and see what happens?
Yeah, that's
why not? Why not?
Because that would be dumb. Because you've just invested everything in a quarterback and you're going to take another one.
Yeah, why not? Let's go Minnesota Vikings at number 11.
So for me, this is one of those spots where we really have to compartmentalize what we saw at the combine. Who was my number one corner coming into this?
Quinyon Mitchell.
Who was my number one corner coming out of this?
Terry and Arnold.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay.
Look how fast Quinyon Mitchell is faster than him and more fluid than him. So, yeah, I don't really care that Nate Wiggins ran a 4.28. He also weighs about 7 ounces more than Xavier Worthy does. Now, if those two ever go up against each other, that's going to be a battle. I just really hope that there's not any snow because they might just slide through the tunnel. Quinyon Mitchell's the best corner in this class. It's not close.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Sikkema came on our show and said, you're not out of your mind. Taking him at 8. I won't be shocked if that's what Atlanta does. The only thing is that I do like more of the second-day corners than I like the second-day pass rushers, which is how I got Atlanta at Dallas Turner. I just look at Minnesota. You're so bad in the secondary. And now you're going to have Caleb Williams in your division. You've got Jordan Love that really improved last year. And you got Jared Goff. That's 6 games where you're going to go up against offenses that are going to really look to move the ball down the field on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you taking a quarterback. I don't see you letting Kirk Cousins out of the building. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It would be one thing if Kirk was going to go to Atlanta and be a Super Bowl contender. He won't be. If that were the case, okay, maybe I could believe it. I've also been told he would take a hometown discount to stay in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's $35 million in Minnesota or $45 in Atlanta, I don't think Atlanta's doing it. I don't think the difference in Justin Fields for 2 years and Kirk Cousins is that drastic. They can both win. I don't think either one of them can win a Super Bowl. That's really the next tier. I don't love Justin Fields. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love Kirk Cousins either. He's fine. But if you're Minnesota, am I really going to take Michael Penix here? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
If Drake May fell, that's the one caveat. Because Minnesota, I feel like there are several teams that really like Drake May, and if he fell even 2 spots, if he even got to 5, I think the Chargers would be bombarded with calls. But Minnesota here, it just takes the best player on the board. And that's what they do with Quinyon Mitchell, the corner out of Toledo.
All right, let's go. Number 12, the Denver Broncos.
Now, here gets into who's making this decision.
Sean Payton.
No, of course it is. This is going to be a quarterback. It's just a question, which quarterback?
J.J. McCarthy.
I don't love the fit. I don't. I'll just level with you. He was super inaccurate. And that, to me, is kind of a sticking point in this Sean Payton offense. The best guy that ever ran it was Drew Brees. That should tell you pretty much everything you need to know. But I think there's a lot of raw in McCarthy. I don't think it's that he's inaccurate. I think it's that he needs to really develop as a passer. He had some mechanical things that really didn't look great. And if there's anybody that can coach those into him, it's Sean Payton. And to me, that marriage is not beautiful. It just makes a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Andreas Pinckney said Penix at 12, he's more of a Payton guy. I'm not so sure I agree with you on that. The only reason that I say that is this Payton system is not – what Michael Penix does so well is just throw absolute flamethrowers when you can't rush him. That's not going to happen in Denver. If you go back and watch the tape on Penix, he sat in the pocket absolutely with no fear that pass rush was coming. He got hit less times last year, over the last 5 years than Caleb Williams got hit last year. That should tell you a lot. because he does have an absolute rope. But you go to Denver and you're throwing to Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, who I'm not sure in a foot race would outrun me. That part doesn't make sense to me. If you told me I could sit Michael Penix for a year and let him really acclimate and then build the roster out, okay. I don't think that's the way this is going to go. I think whoever gets drafted here has to go in immediately. And yes, I know Penix got the clean bill of health. I don't think that's enough to overlap the, okay, you got hurt the first time you got hit. Legit. The first time he got hit more than 3 times in a game, he got hurt. And that was in the national title game against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That stuck with more people than just me. Now, that being said, there is a fit for Michael Penix that, weird. I don't think we're going to have to wait that
long. Coming up next pick.
Exactly. With the Las Vegas Raiders.
At number 13, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Now, you talk about a spot that does make sense.
And Michael Penix.
Well, I have Jacoby Myers. I have Hunter Renfrow. I have Michael Mayer. I have whatever they're going to do in the backfield. I think it's going to be Josh Jacobs. I thought that the whole time.
Lots of shortish field targets.
It's not even just that. I've got the over-the-top weapon because Devontae Adams will crush you if you allow him to.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers can do the same thing. So I can put Penix back there. I'm going to have to address parts of the line, but I can put Penix back there and just let him do what he did at Washington. Is that going to be an adjustment for Luke Getsy? It is. But none of these quarterbacks really fit exactly what it is that he wants. I do think Penix can do some of the things that Justin Fields did really well. When did that Chicago offense look the best?
What? When they were running the ball?
When they were running the ball.
Yeah.
They were running the ball. They had a slight taste of play action, and DJ Moore was absolutely eviscerating people over the top. Michael Penix can do that. He can.
Mm-hmm.
He can do that. And I think his fit is best with the Raiders. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you, I wouldn't hate Penix with Peyton. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying if both of them are on the board, I'm looking at the younger guy with more room to grow than the ready-made product.
Yes.
And that's, if I'm Sean Payton, I know I am one of the best quarterback guys in this league. I can develop McCarthy. If I'm the Raiders, I'm looking around going, we're defensive guys. We're gonna play smash mouth football, play really good defense, but I need somebody that can come out here and throw frozen ropes to Devontae and Jacoby, and to me, those two fits just make more sense.
Is the ceiling far off between McCarthy and Penix?
Depends on who you ask. I think they're reasonably similar in terms of ceiling, but you're gonna have to get it out of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Penix in the wrong system will be out of this league in 3 years. Mark my words that I said that.
Right.
In the right system, he could be a 10-year franchise quarterback. And I'm not sure that Denver's the right system there.
All right, let's try to get through one more pick here. Number 14 with the New Orleans Saints.
Well, this is one that I know will make at least a couple of our Saint fan friends happy.
Mm-hmm.
Taliese Fuaga, right tackle out of Oregon State. I don't know that this is not his drop dead spot. If it's not, then his drop dead spot's the next pick. I obviously really like the guy, but my thing with Fuaga is I do think you are confined to the right side. I don't know that he could ever move over to the left, but it doesn't matter. I don't need him to move over to the left. I already did that. I already tried to tackle that position. The problem I have now is I've got Ryan Ramczyk that's got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel because he has medical issues. So I can bring Fuaga in, play him at guard if I have to. If Ramczyk's fine, great. There's your replacement.
Mm-hmm.
A year, 2 years from now. I'm going to move him into guard, and I'm going to run the ball down your throat because I've got 3 guys that can really lean into you, really push forward. And I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you straight up, I didn't even think about this until I started seeing Saints in our chat. And the more I thought about it, the more I went, that makes so much sense. That's exactly what that's one of those picks that and usually this comes in where we see it happen in the draft, and I go, why did I not think of that? That makes so much sense. Why did I not think of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of many things that I love about the listeners of the show.
All right, Talizi Fuaga going to the New Orleans Saints at number 14. Let's get one more in. Let's go 15.
Well,
Indianapolis Colts.
Well, there's a little bit of a problem there.
Oh, no.
Because we have a trade.
Oh, goodness. So we're going to need the full clock here to think about the trade before it happens.
Well,
all right, the phone calls came in. We're going to have to take a break, and then we'll come back from the top of the hour, and we'll pick up with the 15th pick, where the Indianapolis Colts may be trading out of this spot. It's the post-NFL Combine mock draft here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We have 1 week. 1 week from today, right? That's March 11th. Huge day in the state of North Carolina.
It's here!
It all goes live 1 week from today. You can get in with DraftKings Sportsbook. It'll be live in our state March 11th, and you'll be able to bet on all of your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home with DraftKings. And to celebrate, new customers who download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use our promo code WPEK will score up to $300 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet once we're live. So free bets, right? Free monies to play with.
It's a beautiful thing. If you're not familiar with the wagering, hey, guess what? Your resident Flostradamus has got you covered, but it's going to be with DraftKings. All the odds, all the things, because there's nowhere else you would go to place your wagers in the state of North Carolina.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with the code WPEK to get up to $300 in bonus bets once mobile sports betting goes live. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, coming soon to North Carolina on March 11th with code WPEK. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or go to morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only, new customers only, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Maximum $300 in bonus bets, not available for use until March 11th, 2024. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit, wagering, and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation is known for compassionate care for all across its 18 North Carolina locations. Whether your loved one needs short-term rehabilitation or long-term care, our exceptional staff and comprehensive services are here to support their recovery or ongoing needs.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check out some of these 5-star reviews from Google. After searching for a dentist for months, I finally found this place. I needed some serious dental work, and they got me in within a week. If you're anxious about going to the dentist, I assure you this is the place that can give you a new outlook on having dental work done. They're upfront, honest, and caring people who only want the best for their patients. You gotta check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the Comfort Menu.
Ready to feel good about where you work? Don't miss UPM Raffle Attack's Job Fair, March 8th from 2 to 6 p.m. at 400 Broadpoint Drive in Mills River. Come see our factory, meet our team, and interview on site. Learn more at rafjob.com. That's RAFJOB.com.
It's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
It's the moment you dream of, the moment you work for.
train for, run wind sprints when nobody's watching for, the moment when hours of gym time, court time, prep time, all culminate into this time, the moment when millions of bounces, blocks, and boards all add up to this, your moment. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Silk. Feel plenty good. Shop wherever you find groceries. Silk's delicious plant-based beverages help bring a daily dose of goodness to help you feel plenty good. They are rich in calcium and a good source of vitamins A and D to support the health of you and your family. Shop wherever you find groceries.
Worry less about spring cleaning and call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129 plus a free hallway. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time. The Sportsocracy.
Get back!
Your city's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and the Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. You can see us everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. It is a mock draft Monday, the post-2024 NFL Combine mock draft. Jeremy and I fresh off the, I was going to say fresh off the boat, but that doesn't make sense. We're fresh out of
we're fresh out of the car since Tank wanted to drive. By the way, never doing that again.
We're fresh out of the Rogue.
It was fresh off an airplane. They make birds for a reason, and the only real bird is the one you hop on and fly to Indianapolis.
I'm trying to figure out why you're so complaining. I did all the driving.
Well, I told
you did all the sleeping.
I told you I wasn't going to do it.
It was a fun week in Indianapolis, and once again, thanks to Ingalls Supermarkets for not only sponsored the trip, but also their continued sponsorship here with the Sportsocracy. Ingalls Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Do not miss the Ingalls SoCon Basketball Championships at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, this week. It all kicks off on the 7th, so that's Friday. We will be there Friday doing the show live from 12 to 3, and you're invited to come on down and hang out with us for that. It all runs through March 11th, the championship game next Monday night. Weird, something else happens on March 11th, too. Oh, yeah. The old legal sports gambling goes live in North Carolina. So get your tickets for the Ingalls SoCon Basketball Championships at SoConHoops.com. Mock draft, we're up to pick number 15 in the post-combine mock draft. The Indianapolis Colts owning the pick, but as
Not
Flo
so
Stradamus
fast, my friend.
told us, here comes a trade.
Well, there's a player on the board that doesn't make a whole mess of sense.
Brock Bowers.
Yes, he plays a position that Indy is pretty well taken care of, but there is a team just picking a few spots behind them. It would cost them the 18th pick, the 80th pick, and a 4th-round pick in 2025. And that team is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yes. Brock Bowers, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. How could you say no to that?
Yeah, I can't. I'll go ahead and tell you I can't. And I've thought this the whole time is, man, if he finds a way to get Cincinnati. He even commented on Cincinnati.
He did. He's already talked to him.
Yes.
Officially official. He has been in their building. They have talked to him, and it's basically been said, we will have you one way or the other. Well, not true.
I was about to say.
I'm embellishing a little.
100%. You're embellishing a lot. But I do think that move makes a lot of sense. Look, the problem with Bowers, Bob Bowers is such a good player. There's not a natural spot for him to land. I mean, look, the Chargers make sense. I even considered Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get away from those two. Who makes any sense? I feel like somebody's going to make the move, but I don't think anybody's making a move in the top 10 to get him. Not because he's not worth it, but because positional value and how good this class is.
Yeah. Yeah. There are not a lot of perfect fits.
In a terrible draft class, a guy like Brock Bowers would go in the top 5. He's that good.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I heard all the things that he's a little introverted, and I get it. He didn't seem all that introverted on the podium.
But still, what would that really matter?
Well, he's not a quarterback, so I don't really know that I care.
Right. Why would I care if he's introverted?
Okay, so
bit?
he's weird, and him and his receding hairline sit in their bedroom and play Call of Duty.
So he's socially.
Does that change the fact that he's going to just eviscerate people on a football field?
Just because he's socially awkward and has a lisp, or you're just going to be like, he can't play football? No. Do you say the same thing about Mike Tyson? No, he was knocking dudes out. He talked a little funny.
Well,
he was a little awkward.
You might say it, but you wouldn't say it to his face. Speaking of which, things that need to be said, we have breaking news.
I love it.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Our buddy Colin put it in the YouTube chat. Breaking news, 7-time Pro Bowler and Philadelphia sports icon Jason Kelce announces he is retiring from the NFL per Shifty.
Can't say I'm shocked.
You shouldn't be. The whole press conference was he just wanted to be able to be the one to say it.
Of course.
He didn't like the fact that Schefter kind of burned the news. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bob Brown in our YouTube comments said, ouch, Eagles trade up for Powers Johnson. Well, it's funny you said that because we are at pick number 16 in our 2024 post-NFL Combine 3-round mock draft. And I do believe it's time for Jackson Powers Johnson.
But not to Philadelphia.
To the Seattle Sea Chickens.
That was mean. You should have done that to Bob. He's a good man, and you got his hopes up.
He is a good man, and for him, I would love for you to have to have Jackson Powers Johnson. The only thing is that you already have 2 guys that can play center. One is named Landon Dickerson, and the other is named Cam Jurgens, who are both, by the way, pretty good center prospects. Not sure that that's what I would be looking to do, especially since you got Tyler Steen that can play guard.
You do love Tyler Steen.
He's a solid player. But, I mean, for Seattle, if you let Jackson Powers Johnson get by you, I don't know what you're doing with your life. That's another dude that is an absolute house.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at him with Abram Lucas and Charles Cross as the tackles of the future. And yes, I know you took Oluwatimi last year. I got it. This is just
Can't he play guard?
Jackson Powers Johnson?
No.
Oluwatimi. Could.
Mm-hmm. Seattle Seahawks, Jackson Powers Johnson. How about number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, Jacksonville is a team that's a little bit hard to project because they need things that are not necessarily here. Like, I would say they probably would have had an interest in Jackson Powers Johnson if he was still on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I would think they would have at least a passing interest in the corners.
Yes. Nate Wiggins, Terrion Arnold, somebody in here? No? Yeah, maybe?
Yeah, or you take a guy that had just a phenomenal combine. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. His floor is DJ Chark. That's his floor. And I think his ceiling is way higher than that. He showed he's got the over the top long range speed. I liked the kid coming in. Frankly, I had Brian Thomas at 9 in the last one of these we did. I did not remember that, but I do keep very copious notes on these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't shocked that he ran fast. I'm not shocked that he's going to go somewhere in this range. Frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if he went 9. And sticking with that, I wouldn't have been shocked if he went 9 to the Bears because he is an elite deep threat and has the size that a lot of other receivers don't. I just, for some reason, I find myself doing this from time to time, I get really stuck on teams and fits. And I can't get past them. And Jacksonville with Brian Thomas Jr. just makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Beermaster Rogers said he can't see Seattle letting Byron Murphy or Latu get past them. Latu I'll talk about when we get to his selection. There is more that goes into it with him. The thing with Byron Murphy, and we do this every single year, nobody I know had a top 20 grade on him. Then he went to the combine and he was really good. And now nobody seems to want to understand that he's not going in the top 15. He is scheme specific, and there were a slew of other defensive tackles that helped themselves. That is one of the, if you want to know which guys are going to fall a little bit to the point of, and we do this every draft year, where you have a guy who's ranked 13th, 14th, and 16th, and we're in the 20s. Look at positions that were all good at the combine. It's almost undefeated. And if you look at guys like Braden Fiskey and Tavondre Sweat and a slew of others that were really, really good and looked really, really mobile, that hurts somebody like Byron Murphy. The next center is Zach Frazier. And as a West Virginia feller myself, I will just go ahead and tell you, if you take him in the first round, you're smoking crimes. Like hardcore illegal crimes. And I don't think Seattle can pass it up. I get what you're saying. And if Latu, if it was just the talent, I would agree with you, but it's not, and we'll get into that in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So at, where are we at, number 18?
We are 2-18. 17 was Brian Thomas Jr.
Okay, Brian Thomas Jr. goes 17 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So at number 18, this is where the Indianapolis Colts slot in after the trade with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, and this is, I don't love doing trades this early. I've been over that. I've said that. I don't love doing that because it has to make sense on both sides. So you have to find a team that has players on the board that they would be okay with letting pass. You have to find a team with guys on the board that they have multiple guys just in case one of them gets taken. You don't trade down just because you can trade down and then wind up with a player that doesn't either fill a need or that you don't like. The good thing is that Indianapolis was looking at the board going, there seem to be a lot of corners left on the board, and we could use one of them.
Yep.
So,
and trading down didn't cost them anything.
Nope.
As far as the prospects available.
Correct. Now the question is, which one do they take?
Do you take the speed demon?
I believe so.
Nate
Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what it is that they need, I like Juju Brents. I've always liked Juju Brents. He's a very big guy, and he's not as inline fast. I need somebody looking around that division. I've got Tank Dell. I've got Christian Kirk in Jacksonville. I've got, now in this scenario, Malik Neighbors in Tennessee. Who do I have that can stop any of the three of them? Nate Wiggins can, because they're all three undersized. So the fact he is light does not really, it doesn't mean that much. And I can slot him in as, I'm not going to say team specific. I think the Colts are maybe one of 5 teams that would take Wiggins ahead of Terry and Arnold. I think there's a little myth on how much people like him. Arnold is a great prospect. Nate Wiggins is the guy that I have poo-pooed a lot because of not so much what he can do, but what he can't do. But you find a team that doesn't matter, which would be Indianapolis, because you look at the 2 guys they have on the outside. Oh, you mean they do the same? They do the thing he can't do? Oh, well, okay. That just kind of takes all my aversion from that, doesn't it?
Let's go on to 19, the Los Angeles Rams,
who might be the happiest team in the NFL if things went this way, because they would be sitting here at 19 just going, we'll do it. Terry and Arnold, cornerback out of Alabama. I think Arnold may be the safest corner in this class, because there is some possibility, I guess, that Quinyon Mitchell not being great in press at Toledo, maybe he comes to the NFL and he can't do that. Another thing I don't understand is, why did he go to Mobile and just wreck people's souls playing press? I don't know. I think Terry and Arnold is the safest number 1 projected starter at corner. I also think he has a really, really troubling ceiling. In that I don't see perennial Pro Bowler out of him. I don't see that upside. And this is not a slight. It's just, okay, I'm going to ask this for the 411th time, and I think I ask this about 50 times a year, every year that we do the draft. When was the last time you saw a Nick Saban guy come into the NFL and, well, look at all these things that he couldn't do before that he can do now? Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. He is what he is. And in L.A., I really like that. Nate Wiggins is the more raw ball of clay that really fits what they're after. Because with him, and yes, he did run a 4.5, and yes, there were things that were really good, the splits and the athleticism grade and the RAS grade. You can't compare the two. For what Indy needs, Nate Wiggins makes more sense. Conversely, for what LA needs, Terry and Arnold makes more sense. And that's an immediate number 1 starter for LA. That secondary was awful at times last year. It broke my brain at times how well they were able to beat teams they shouldn't, in spite of the fact they didn't have a corner that could stop anybody on a consistent basis. But you add a guy like Terry and Arnold to that defense, and we're getting somewhere.
Also, if you didn't see the post-combine workout interview that he did on the NFL Network, it's very touching, I thought.
He's a great kid.
Yeah, I thought it was a great move for him to take all the time there to thank his mother, who raised him as a young single mother, and that was a great moment. Great moment in the combine for Terry and Arnold, and he goes number 19 in the post-combine mock draft here in the Sportsocracy to the Los Angeles Rams.
Eat and Sleep Football said Terry and Arnold had one of the fastest draft rises I've ever seen. Let me talk about why that happened before we go to break here. He's consistently in the top 20 now, but he was a second-round guy coming into the draft process, really into the playoff process. Colin Greene said the Michigan game really highlighted him. That's half of it. The other half is the scouts really started digging in, and they realized that Kool-Aid McKinstry is he's an E-I-Know. He is elite in name only. That was one of those things that I got surrounded by elite prognosticators and evaluators, and they all just basically mimicked the same thing that I said, which is if we hadn't been saying that dude's name for the last 3 years, we would not be talking about him as
Kool-Aid
McKinstry. Talking about him in the same breath with Quinyon Mitchell and with Terry and Arnold. And I'll be honest with you, I had an off the record conversation with somebody, and they put something in my head that I had not thought of. When you watch the tape of Quinyon Mitchell, just understand he has never in his life been coached by anybody that's even in the same breath as Nick Saban. What do you think Saban would have done with him? That is the potential that is still there to unlock. Said the same thing about Nate Wiggins. Now, look at Terry and Arnold and what the high side is from that Michigan tape and a couple others that I saw over the course of the year. Now bring Kool-Aid into that. You think he's going to get better? You don't think that Terry and Arnold is, who was kind of a late riser in the process. Kool-Aid McKinstry has been asked basically to be the guy for 2 solid years. But that's the guy you think is going to get better. That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Back with the pick number 20 in the post-combine mock draft next.
It's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Join us March 11th for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest. We'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. Watch Monday, March 11th, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel.
Presented by The Hartford Small Business Insurance. Learn more or start a quote at thehartford.com/smallbusiness. With insurance designed for your small business, the Bucks got your back.
It's the moment you dream of, the moment you work for, train for, run wind sprints when nobody's watching for, the moment when hours of gym time, court time, prep time, all culminate into this time, the moment when millions of bounces, blocks, and boards all add up to this, your moment. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, guys?
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy in the middle of the 2024 post-combine mock draft. Flostradamus. We saw a lot up in Indianapolis.
I saw Tank almost get hit by a car. He gets saved by a Pro Bowler.
I'm never going to live that down.
No, I've told literally every person that works here that story, and I was only here for an hour before the show.
You try to step off one curb.
In front of a speeding car. You left out a really...
No, look.
You left out a really important part of that story.
Sometimes you err, okay?
Tank also learned that you shouldn't take pictures of Jeremy while he's sleeping because he's evil. And we'll take one of you. That will be used against you forever.
At your most vulnerable moment.
And one of these days, I will tell the story behind that picture, and I will laugh a lot.
We are back into the post-combine mock draft here. We're up to pick number 20, belonging to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This shouldn't come as a surprise because I think I've been pretty consistent with giving this guy to Pittsburgh. Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa.
He looks Steelery.
It's not even that he looks Steelery. He is Steelery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say you're wrong there. He's just so consistent. The big knock on him is he going to be a leading man? I don't really care. In this scenario, that doesn't really matter. That's the same thing we asked about Joey Porter Jr. Now you could have them playing on opposite sides of each other, and you got Minkah Fitzpatrick roaming the middle. You add that to two really elite pass rushers, and that defense looks terrifying. I like Cooper DeJean a lot, and he was so likable. When he came up for his media availability, he was just so unbelievably likable.
Mm-hmm. Number 21, it's the Miami Dolphins.
Now, this is one, I will be honest with you, this is the first place that I really considered Byron Murphy. Because if everything I'm hearing is true, and they're going to let Christian Wilkins hit unrestricted free agency, he ain't coming back. I got news for you. He hits the market. Somebody's going to give him a contract that is dumb. The Chicago Bears. And I did consider Byron Murphy here. That's not who I ultimately went with.
Okay. Did you go Braden Fiske?
No, this is a little
too early.
A little early for.
It's too early.
A little early for him.
I thought you were trying to shoehorn your defensive tackle in there.
No, you're at the wrong position, and this is going to shock some people, but not if you've listened to a lot of what I've said.
Mm-hmm.
Amarius Mims, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Yeah, that offense that Mike McDaniel runs requires a particular set of skills, which Amarius Mims may have. You know who doesn't have it? J.C. Latham. Because you put him at tackle, and I'm telling you right now, you put him at tackle in that system, you will see a next level of bust. Now, there is a team I like him with, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But Amarius Mims is he's the big dancing bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people hear that, and they go, well, but he's not going to be able to play left tackle to start with. No, he could. We said Broderick Jones couldn't do it, and weird, he ended up doing it. They're very much the same guy. I mean, I know that there's headlines or helmet scouting. This is one of those times that it kind of works. And the reason it works is because coaches tend to recruit guys that do the same thing to replace each other.
Well, why do you say you can't play tackle right away?
With Mims?
Yeah.
He can't play left tackle right
away. Oh, left tackle. Okay.
Then he would have to start on the right and then transition to the left. And it's just an experience thing. I mean, he hadn't played enough snaps.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went to the combine, and it was like, good Lord have mercy. Nobody that big should move that way. And you put him into this kind of scheme, and as I watched it, I'm just here going, that's a Dolphin. That dude right there is a Dolphin or a 49er. I don't know which one, but it's one of the two.
Yeah, 6'8", 340, ran a 5.07.
Which is
40-yard dash.
Which is stupid.
He was moving. He had a good one. And coming off the board at number 21 to the Miami Dolphins.
We've got another super chat This one's from our buddy, Soaring Eagle. I just saw a report from Ben Solak saying that apparently J.J. McCarthy might be taken before Jaden Daniels. What are your thoughts on that? I'm glad you said that because that ain't the first time I've heard that. Now, all of this was before the workout on Saturday. I kind of think the workout changed that. I feel like the quarterbacks that actually did throw really solidified that it's – and because, look, I told you last week, I didn't think quarterbacks were going 1, 2, 3. Then this week happened. Then the informational debrief happened, and I went, okay, I get why you're all saying this now because it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because it makes sense because to me, 1, 2, and 3 are so abundantly obvious. Now, I don't have them in the order that they're going to go in the draft, but I struggle to believe had McCarthy not thrown. If you ever want to know why a lot of guys don't throw, go back and watch his workout. Because what I told you was we had not seen what he couldn't do. Now I've seen what he can't do. He was wildly inaccurate. Could it have been a bad day? Sure. But you know who's never going to believe that? Fans.
Mm-hmm.
Because fans specifically take what they see of you as gospel, and they don't understand that sometimes pressure just gets to a kid. And I don't know that anybody put more pressure on themselves than J.J. McCarthy, and he came out and it showed. But we'll always have that. We'll always have the workout where he was so inaccurate.
Right.
That it's just, I don't see how you take him ahead of Jaden Daniels. I don't.
Okay. Amarius Mims to the Miami Dolphins, number 22. That pick belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And look, this is what good drafting teams do. They sit in their spot and they let guys fall to them that are really, really good. And before you ask, no, the news of Jason Kelce doesn't change any of this because we all already suspected it, which is why they've taken 2 guys that can play center in the last 2 years. Leatu Latu, edge rusher out of UCLA.
My eyes got real big there for a second because I'm like, which one of these defensive dynamos are you about to add to the Philadelphia Eagles? Now, they've gone, 2 years in a row going defensive tackles. So now you get the edge rusher.
Yes.
Because what's going to happen with Hassan? Is he coming back?
No. I don't really see any way that he's back. And I think Latu showed there's more to him than people thought. And the medical came back, and it wasn't the home run that Michael Penix was. A lot of teams evaluate him from a talent standpoint ahead of Jared Verse. None of them evaluate him as less of a medical red flag, which is why I'm telling you, Turner is going to be the first edge off the board. Jared Verse is 2. Then there's going to be a bit of a wait, and then you'll get to Latu. And then that's when you start seeing the more dicey guys come off the board. The Chop Robinsons, the Chris Braswells, the guys that can do one thing. Because Latu is the last one that can do it all. You just have to be really comfortable with the medical. And if there's any team that I feel like has the talent to take that chance, it is Georgia. Or Philadelphia. Sorry. I saw somebody say Georgia.
It's the Bird Dogs.
Stop that.
Just call them the Bird Dogs. It'll be okay.
Red C said Philly didn't take a Georgia player. Mock invalidated. Well, there's not really one that deserves to be picked here.
Yeah.
They're reaching by a round if they take a Bulldog.
Nah, they're going to trade down. They'll just trade out of the round so they can get a dog next round.
Don't worry. They have more picks later, and one of them is a Georgia
Bulldog. There we go. Bird Dogs rise. Number 22, Philadelphia Eagles, Leatu Latu.
Notorious B.I.G. said this. So the reports about the Eagles taking Peyton Wilson are inaccurate. I can't tell you they're inaccurate. We're going to get to Peyton Wilson in a little bit. He has a medical that's kind of the same way. Yes, he blew up the combine. They don't really take linebackers, as he followed that up with.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia adheres to value-based drafting probably more than any team in the league. And if it's not them, it's Baltimore. And if it's not Baltimore, it's Pittsburgh or Green Bay. We don't take players that high that aren't at value positions. That's the reason that I'm saying the Jason Kelsey thing, it doesn't matter because there's not a center or a guard there that wouldn't be a reach. With value-based drafting, the only way you take one of those non-value positions, which is center, guard, linebacker, safety, the only way you take one of those guys, running back, I forgot that one, but I thought that one spoke for itself, is if they're so far and away the clearly best player on the board, and that ain't going to be the case. Far and away, clearly the best player on the board is Leatu Latu. That's a Philadelphia Eagles kind of pick. That's a Howie Roseman kind of pick. Am I telling you that's their biggest need? No, I'm not. I'll also tell you that if you look back through the history of that team, the player they took in the first round was not always their biggest need. They traded up last year for Jalen Carter. They already had Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis. Think about that. There's a reason certain teams are just always good. Because, yeah, you know what? We'll figure it out. Hey, we got 3 now. Cool. We can move one of them if we need to.
Yep. Add Leatu Latu to all them dogs, and that new defensive coordinator up there, Vic Fangio, he could have a lot of fun with those guys coming off the edge. Number 23 pick belongs to the Houston Texans. We will continue with the post-combine mock draft coming up next right here on ESPN Asheville inside the Ingalls studio.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
The madness begins in Asheville. Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville, March 7th through 11th for the 2024 Ingalls SoCon Basketball Championships. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville box office. Get your tickets today.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
Back in the Sportsocracy, post-combine mock draft. It's just the next stage in the Draftmas season.
Oh, Draftmas tree, old Draftmas tree.
Got all the workouts behind us. Now the pro days are the next stage in the evolution of the Draftmas process.
Ah, the sweet, coordinated, what's that word?
Scripted workout?
No, script is not the word I'm looking for. Choreographed. The choreographed workouts. You know who else choreographs? Swan Lake. And guess what? I don't care about that either.
I was going to say, speaking of choreographed, a big shout out to Sting, who had his final match last night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say shout out to the fact the election's tomorrow and we won't be here.
Well, that is true. We're gonna do our civic duty. We're gonna let you have the day off from dumbassery from here tomorrow, so that you can enjoy all of the dumbassery that's going to take place on the election campaign.
That's okay. I will finally pay off doing a Mullets mailbag from my house.
There you go.
Possibly whilst not wearing underoos.
Tomorrow is primary day here in the state of North Carolina. It's Super Tuesday. I think 15 states around the country will be holding their primaries tomorrow. I will be involved in the wall-to-wall coverage from 7 to 11 tomorrow night on News Radio 570 WWNC. So Jeremy is going to be kind enough to do a show for us on the YouTubes tomorrow, so I can take a little nap in between my morning show and then the evening and late night of primary night. It's always fun hanging out with Mark Starling and company, and we'll be doing that on WWNC tomorrow night in case you are interested in following along all of the primary election results. Continuing with the mock draft here, Jeremy.
23rd pick, the Houston Texans.
Right, Houston Texans. What will they do? They're not getting Mike Evans. I know that.
Correct.
He's not an option.
We'll talk about that when we get to Tampa Bay here in a few picks.
Yep.
Bill Buttigieg said, Houston Texans select Xavier Worthy. Houston Texans select Byron Murphy. Just pick someone from Texas. Okay, Byron Murphy sounds just fine. Because that is the one that I keep looking at going, him and Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
That's what haunts your nightmares. That is just absolutely horrifying.
With old D'Amico Ryans queuing up the packages.
Who loves using 4-man fronts where I don't have to send blitzes and I rotate players a lot. I think we're getting a little crazy with Byron Murphy.
Okay.
Not because I have a problem with it. Look, I think he's phenomenal. He's my number one defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Braden Fisk is pretty close. Devondre Sweat's pretty close. And that tends to devalue guys. And I don't see him as a top 15 pick.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of this is I can't figure out who people are going to take him over. In a lot of other classes, he would be a top 15 pick. He's not in this one.
Mm-hmm. Needs-based drafting is a big reason for that. What you explained earlier, if the guy's not so much better than everybody else on the board, why am I then I'm going to take a different position?
Well, and that's the problem, is that when you will start seeing the defensive tackles go is when you pull on the thread. Until a defensive tackle goes, you can keep pushing them down the board because there's still 6 of them left.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you take one, that kind of puts everybody on high alert. And then once the second one comes off, they run quick.
Yep. Number 24 is the Dallas Cowboys.
This is one of those picks that once I say it, you're never going to unsee it. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver out of Texas. You tell me that that's not the most Jerry Jones thing you've ever seen in your life.
Pretty close.
To go bring the Texas Longhorn that set the combine record by running a 4.21. Pew, pew, pew.
Gives you a great second option next to CeeDee Lamb.
Does it, though? Or does it give you a really fast option?
It gives you a really fast
There
option.
you go.
How about that?
Hey, you know how you defend Xavier Worthy, or at least from what I saw? You look at him in the line and go, and he falls down. And then, if he doesn't fall down, he runs right by you. And you throw him a pass, and he goes, blah, 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 and it just falls to the ground because he could not catch a cold in a freezer. But, man, he's fast. It's John Ross all over again. It's just a question of do you ever learn to catch a football, yes or no?
Yeah.
And do you have injury issues that take away your speed? Because it's what got him here. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Name me the other thing Xavier Worthy actually does well. He bees fast real well.
Yes. He does.
And I don't see any team in the NFL that will be more easily distracted by that than the Dallas Cowboys. I think there's at least 6 better receivers on the board
Than Xavier.
Yes.
They're just not faster.
No. He's the fastest guy on the board.
Right.
He's the fastest guy in the history of the combine. He also weighs about $150. He bulked up for the combine and showed up at 172. I weighed 172 in the 4th grade by comparison.
He's a little bit more fit than you, though. I mean,
well, I was also 6'1" when I was about 12.
Sure. So. I'm sure you're not competing with him in a foot race.
No. He'd run right by me. He's not competing with me in a weightlifting contest either.
No doubt.
Xavier got it up one time, and that's enough. I did it on purpose.
Number 25.
And Tank the Child just had a small stroke.
Number 25, the Green Bay Packers.
J.C. Latham, offensive tackle, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You slide Zach Tom back into guard or wherever it is you want to play, or you can play him on the left side if that's what you so want to do. Latham strikes me as the player that is ready to come in and play right away on a team that is competitive right now. If you trust David Bakhtiari again, you get what you get. Your call.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad decision.
Got to have the replacement there, and this is a guy that you have said has been overvalued. You have said this is not your mock draft. This is what you think the teams would do. So I have to ask, do you think that this is too high for Latham,
this is fine. No,
okay.
This is fine.
All right. Just wanted to
Any
clear that
higher
up.
than this, I didn't even really start considering J.C. Latham until 18 with Cincinnati. And since they traded up, I really don't see another team that would do it.
Okay.
Because he is a very specific fit. DNA Tooth Podcast said, worst mock in history. He wanted somebody for Green Bay, but I'm not 100% sure who it was. Oh, Troy Fautano. I wouldn't hate that. Look, I don't like him as much as – I don't like Fautano as much as a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, look, if you want a guard, you could go Troy Fautano. And I wouldn't fault you for that. I do not have him rated as highly as J.C. Latham.
All right, let's go to number 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now's a good time to talk about your receiver.
Yeah.
He wants to win a Super Bowl, but he just tied himself to Baker Mayfield.
Well, I mean, that's what every agent is going to say that about their wide receiver. Of he wants to play for a superstar quarterback. He wants the chance to win a title. But there again, you also you have the personal connection, right? Mike has been there forever. He has stated before in the past that he wants to be a Buck for life. They were able to give him a number he was happy with. 2 years at $52 million. He's earned it.
Look, you had a personal connection with a former Pro Bowl NFL running back. It does not mean he wants you blocking for him. Just because he saved you from getting flattened by a truck.
But if the money's good, then I'm going to stay, right?
It's dumb. The fact Mike Evans looked at it, and I'll be honest with you, you shouldn't have wanted him to do it. I laughed so hard this morning when in our Discord, I threw up Mike Evans coming back to Tampa Bay. And your response was, let's go! And I went, That's not what I thought you were going to say right there.
Let's go. Why not?
Because now you have $60 million a year wrapped up into Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield, which at half that was incredibly lucky to win the worst division I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to have a big boy quarterback in Atlanta. You're going to have, I think, Carolina getting better in a hurry. And New Orleans, once somebody finds the necky pictures that Dennis Allen has of somebody and they can move him out and get an actual legit NFL head coach in there, they're more talented than you two.
It's all part of the plan.
Tampa Bay is actively, and look, I know there are a lot of Buccaneer fans that are not going to like what I'm going to say. Tampa Bay is actively doing everything in its power to make sure that its purgatory outside of vague competition is as ugly as humanly possible. I've read this book. I know how this book goes. And when all of these guys age out, you're 2-15 for 4 solid years because you can't help yourself but continuing to do this. And it doesn't win you squat. it doesn't win you a damn thing except fire them cannons. By golly, aren't we happy to go to the stadium and see Mike Evans go 8-9 again?
Yep.
Woo!
Yep. Because when you're not winning games, that's all you got, really.
Either who. I think you're going to like the player I add here.
Okay.
Chop Robinson.
Yes.
Edge rusher, Penn State.
Yes.
You have to add somebody that can rush the quarterback because right now you're trying to do that with Joe Tron Shoyinka.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when I said you weren't going to love that guy?
He hasn't been great. But, I mean, I did like Yaya last year. He came on at the end of the year. And I felt that Kalijah Cansey added something in the pass rush as well.
Kalijah Cansey adds something to the front. Yaya Diaby is a situational pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing about Chop. I am not so sure that look, he was fine as a run defender. I think he will be fine as a run defender. I am not so sure that he's ever going to be a plus run defender. The thing that gives me a little hope, excuse me. The two highest rated games of the year he had were against Iowa and Rutgers. That's two teams that run the ball really, really well. Just something to put in your old hat. Chop had legit fallen out of the first round. That workout put him back in the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tampa Bay may be the perfect fit for him.
I do. I like the pick. Thank you for doing that. He did put up great numbers at the combine, a 4.48 40, 34.5-inch vertical, and a 10.8 broad jump. And didn't have a bad career at Penn State. None too shabby. So I could get down with that.
Colin Green said another edge. Well, here's the problem. When you keep missing on them, yes,
absolutely,
you keep having to draft.
I said earlier in the show, Chicago Bears with quarterbacks. Who was the other one? Edge rushers with the Atlanta Falcons, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got to hit one eventually. So maybe this is the one.
If you keep drafting bad ones, you still need one that can actually play.
Exactly. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals.
Johnny Newton. That's how quick they would come in and say that, too. And I'm not sure.
When did you start calling him Johnny?
He goes by Johnny. His real name is Jerzon.
Okay. All right. I just see his name as Jerzon Newton. And
Jerzon is his legal name. He goes by Johnny.
Okay.
And I have to say again, it's not that I have soured on him. It's that so many guys were so good in the postseason process that he pushed himself down. Not out of anything he did. He's hurt. He can't do these things. It happens every single year. And this is the most predictable one I think I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. That we're going to talk about him in the top 20, and then you're going to see Byron Murphy surge up the board. I think you're going to see Tavondre Sweat surge up the board. I think you're going to see Braden Fisk shoot up the board.
Yes.
And when they do, what does that mean? It was hard to find an original spot for Byron Murphy. If you have three guys that surge up draft boards as time goes on, what happens to the guy that didn't work out? He falls.
Mm-hmm.
He falls because I didn't get to run him through any of that. I don't know exactly when he's going to be available or anything like that. So he falls to the end of the first round, and Arizona is ecstatic for him to be here.
Yes, more than happy to pick him up and add him to their draft haul here after getting Marvin Harrison Jr.
The Cardinal fans, Red Sea and Joshua Penix, they're very happy.
All right,
as well as well they should be.
We got the Red Sea approval,
and frankly, I hope it goes that way for you because that would be an A+. And I'm not done yet. Just wait till you see what you get the next two rounds.
Yep.
That's the third hour. We're going to go team by team, rapid fire.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy?
Totalmente.
And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan, and an amazing price with no contract. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely. Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate without a pay plus taxes and fees. Discount begins the month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
When we think about our health, we usually think about exercising and eating healthier, but don't forget that part of your overall health is your dental health. And y'all, if it's been 6 months or longer since your last visit, you need to get in to see the dentist. And Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, they offer general family dentistry as well as Invisalign orthodontics, Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, and more. Dr. Merrill and the staff at Asheville Smiles, they're taking new patients, so get your smile back on track. World-class dental care with a hometown feel, AshevilleSmiles.com.
It's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things. Really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. We're back in the Sportsocracy, rounding out the first round of the post-combine mock draft. Number 28, Flostradamus Jeremy Greene.
That is
the Buffalo Bills.
A.D. Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. This is where you start seeing, holy good Lord, how many receivers are going to go between 20 and the second round.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a lot.
Just a mess of them. Detroit Lions at 29.
Now, Detroit is a little more difficult for me because I feel like they need a few things, but I always go into that Brad Holmes, the Dan Campbell, who fits what it is that you're after. And maybe it's because I just spent 5 days with Trevor Sycamore, but I'm starting to really believe in Enos Rakestraw. I get that he didn't have the interceptions. I get it. But the more I watch him on tape, the more I think he can be a legit one. And I'm not sure I haven't been too low on him throughout the entire process.
How about number 30, the Baltimore Ravens?
This will make Stephen Tao happy. Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback out of Alabama.
Are we just locked in there because of
it's not that
I'm fit?
It's not that I'm locked in there. It's how badly they need one, and that's the one that I feel like is going to be around. Look, Stephen really likes him. I get it. For me, it's more that you're ready to play right now. I don't see super high level traits there, but I also kind of trust in Baltimore that Baltimore will take the raw talent and put him in the position to succeed. Nobody does a better job of molding their offense or their defense to their talent than the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. And that's what Kool-Aid needs. Where people like me get worried about him is a team that immediately needs him to be a one, and they're going to chuck him out there to the wolves. He will get eaten alive. Baltimore's not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Number 31 in the first round, San Francisco 49ers.
I want to change this pick because I think I've done this in every single mock we've done. It's Graham Barton out of Duke. I can't stop. I can't, because I can't figure out who is the other player that's going to fill that need. who that is a need of San Francisco is still on the board at 31. It makes too much sense. That is the perfect fit between scheme fit, positional value, and where San Francisco is.
Yeah.
And it can only possibly be topped by your reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida State. But he ran a 4.61. Would you like to hear the list of guys that were faster than him in on-field drills?
Yes.
Would you like to hear it again?
Oh, buddy. Okay.
Over 21.5 miles per hour in the on-field work.
Mm-hmm.
I care way more about that than that he can run real fast in a straight line. And now I would tell you that was unpredictable, except I told you it was going to happen. Because he did that at Florida State for a full year. I've already witnessed this. And a smart team is going to take him, and I don't know, 2 years from now, you're going to look back and go, now, how the hell did we take Xavier Worthy, who was real fast, but he couldn't catch to save his life, ahead of Keon Coleman? And then Andy Reid swoops in and goes, yay, thank you. He reminds me so much of Puka Nacua sometimes that it's gross. So good in the contested catch and real good with the ball in his hand.
The NFL Scouting Combine in the books, and we were there, got to experience it thanks to our good friends over at Ingles Markets. The post-2024 NFL Scouting Combine mock draft will continue.
And now we'll go team by team, starting with the teams that don't have a first-round pick.
All right, after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patient active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Take it back.
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. And you can join us in the chat. Get your thoughts in on today's Mock Draft Monday, post-2024 NFL Combine 3-round mock draft. We focused on the first round. And now it's team by team. What are you going to do in the remaining 2 rounds here?
And we're basically going to go 60 seconds to 90 seconds, depending on how much capital you have. And we'll start with the hometown team that has no first-round pick.
Yes.
And I saw that Alex S. was very sad that Keon Coleman was gone. Well, you're not going to love the fact that I'm not taking a wide receiver at 33. I'm taking Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Here's the thing. Look at what the tackle is going to look like in the third round. Look at what the wide receiver is going to look like. I genuinely think we may have 25 receivers go in the first 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I can wait. I got Adam Thielen coming back. Just if you don't take a left tackle here and you play Ike Mekwonu again on that side, there is a possibility that you're going to ruin Bryce Young. So I will take Tyler Guyton there at 33, and with my first pick in the third round, Xavier Leggett, wide receiver out of South Carolina. That is the bigger-bodied, I can win the contested catch, kind of a poor man's Keon Coleman. Just throwing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got him a full round later. He is devalued, not because he is not a great receiver, but by comparison, he doesn't look as good. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Second and third rounds for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, so the way we'll do this is we'll go division by division. Mm-hmm. There are 2 teams that did not have a first-round pick. So we'll do the NFC South right here, and then we'll do the AFC North with Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
So which team did you say?
The Atlanta Falcons. I'm just going in like draft capital order here.
Okay, so they got Dallas Turner with the 8th pick. They had to give up their second rounder for Justin Fields. So they got the quarterback. They got the edge rusher. I need a weapon. I'll take Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver out of Washington, with my first third-round pick. I feel like if he played on any other team in America, he would be a second-round pick. But the fact he was basically running behind Rome Odunze and behind Jalen Polk makes him such a great value here. And you add him to Drake London, you add him to Kyle Pitts, you add him to Bijan Robinson. And, yeah, it gives me a lot of toys to play with Mr. Fields. Then with my second, third-round pick, DJ James, cornerback out of Auburn. I don't know that I saw a player that looked as fluid as he did. He's going to be a name you hear me say a lot of times because he falls into Tank. I'm just curious if you can hit the nail on the head here of what I'm getting ready to say. Some of my favorite players every single year in the draft tend to be what? Guys that I don't think were particularly
coached
well coached.
Oh.
DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett from Auburn are 2 guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say their names 443,000 times because those 2 dudes are both dogs. And you put him on the opposite side of A.J. Terrell, I believe I've had just a beautiful 2 days for the Atlanta Falcons.
Let's go with the New Orleans Saints. They have the pick at number 45. That's the only one in the next 2 rounds.
So they got Talise Fuaga with the 14th pick, and then in the second round, Darius Robinson. Who did he remind you of when we saw him in Indianapolis? Cameron Jordan. That's all I could think about.
I can see that.
He reminds me so much of Cameron Jordan with his ability to go inside out, and I don't think there's any miss in that New Orleans defense. I think he could ultimately be the guy that takes over for Cameron Jordan. The problem, he didn't run fast enough that I think some teams are going to shoehorn him only into the inside. And Cameron Jordan did that same thing. It's always funny when I see a guy and I go, I read that book one time before and it went really well here. Hey, let's just lather up and do it again.
All right, the team with the least amount of capital in the NFC South, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You took Chop Robinson at 26.
Mm-hmm.
There's your edge rusher, somebody to actually get after a quarterback. In the second round, Mike Sanistril, cornerback out of Michigan. You play a lot of what?
Cover.
Zone.
Yeah.
Mike Sanistril is one of the better zone cover corners in this draft. And he played a lot out of the slot, which is a place where your team got their little brains beat out last year. By the way, if I heard one more time, what was that? The kid that you played in the slot so much?
Zion McCollum.
No, the other one. McCollum played on the outside when injuries started to take over and you were missing Dean. There was another one, like a late round pick that Todd Bowles was just in love with, and he was literally getting evaporated on a weekly basis, and yet they would still keep talking about how much Todd Bowles loved him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my little one that sees he's not real good at football, and I would really like it if you would stop telling me that was a Todd Bowles pick, and he would probably like it too.
All right, so Sanastrill at 57.
Yes.
Then at 89.
Christian Mahogany, guard out of Boston College. I think you do keep Luke Gadecki on the right. I think you do keep Tristan Wirfs on the left. But you're going to have to add something to the interior. And would I like it to be a center because you lost Ryan Jensen? I would, but this draft is so bad at center. And here Von Braun is gone. All of the guys that I legit think could play center this year are gone. And so you take a guard that I'm really high on. And he had a phenomenal Shrine Bowl.
They did. All right, now let's go to the other team that did not have a first-round pick.
Now, I do need to specify this. Notorious B.I.G. said he's not crazy about the Darius Robinson pick with Sweat still on board. Sweat's not still on board. These aren't going in order because we're having to move all over the board because we're going team by team.
Yes.
Tavondre Sweat is already off the board by that time. So I needed to specify that.
Other team that didn't have a first-round pick was the Cleveland Browns. They have the least amount of capital out of anybody in the NFL in this upcoming draft. But they do have a second-round pick, and they've got a third-round pick.
Yes, and the second-round pick is a guy that's very close to our hearts that had a splendiferous combine week. Tez Walker from North Carolina. I think he really shut up some of the things that happened at the Senior Bowl that he couldn't separate, that he couldn't catch really more than anything because he went through the drills and was absolutely flawless. There was a rumor circulating around Mobile that Tez was about 70%. He looked way closer to 100% this week, and he looked way more like the receiver I remember.
Yes.
And you give me that deep threat that can play on the opposite side of Amari Cooper, give me the over-the-top, and I can take the over-the-top with Elijah Moore, and I absolutely love that.
All right, and then at number 85.
Christian Jones, offensive tackle out of Texas. I like DeJuan Jones just fine. It seems to me that Cleveland has had somebody go down on that line every single year, so I need somebody with some versatility. Christian Jones is naturally an offensive tackle. He can play guard as well. And he's also a dadgum house. So the Browns would genuinely have the biggest line in the history of the NFL.
All right, now let's continue with the AFC North. The next, or the top team in draft capital in the North, it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, not anymore because they gave up the third-round pick to – you got Brock Bowers at 15. The only pick you have left is number 49. Braden Fisk, defensive tackle out of Florida State.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mr. Stacking the deck.
Well, you look at Miles Murphy. You look at Miles Murphy, who I think is going to be a bigger piece of the puzzle this year. You look at Trey Hendrickson, you add Braden Fiske into the middle. And sorry, I know that I bounce between the two. Okay, I read my Twitter messages. I saw it. Choose a pronunciation. Sorry. I see it on the screen, and it screams Fisk to me, but his name is Fiske. This gives me a four-man defensive line because I do think they're going to try to re-sign DJ Reader. If they don't re-sign DJ Reader, I think they're going to take some of their copious amount of cap space and go after Chris Jones. This would not change that because now I have a four-man front that I can get after you consistently. And with Brock Bowers, I'm going to score points consistently. I just have to stay healthy. So you add Braden Fiske to that line, and now I don't have to worry about sending blitzers at you. I can get home with 4, and I'm going to get home with 4 a lot.
3-round mock draft here. Let's go Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's see. At 20, Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa. Number 51? I think it's 51. My
51.
numbers may have gotten off track. I do that every year. You'd think I'd check it, but I'm a big dumb bear.
Yeah, 51.
Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker out of Texas A&M. He did a lot to help himself this week, if for nothing else, because he calmed some of the egotistical. He said some things at the Shrine Bowl that you shouldn't say about just watch the tape. No, this is a job interview, and coming in like a cocky jerk is not going to really work for you. He did that. But then he came in this week and he answered a lot of those questions, and he shut up a lot of people. I think he will be the second linebacker off the board after Peyton Wilson.
And then at
who
80,
is already gone here just for posterity's sake.
And then at 84.
Bo Limmer, center out of Arkansas. He's a BDD. That's a big dadgum dude. And I think he really fits. Center was a big problem for the Steelers last year. And you add that to the youth movement that they have put into the offensive line. I would love to have gotten him a left tackle, somebody that could legitimately push Dan Moore inside, but I don't know if that dude's got naked pictures of somebody or what, but it just seems like Pittsburgh. I'll just keep doing it. Doesn't make any sense, but keep doing it.
And then finally, your reigning, defending division champions, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep. Had Kool-Aid McKinstry at number 30 with the second from the last pick, 62.
62nd.
Jonathan Brooks, running back out of Texas. That's the only legit bell cow I see in this class. And now you may have to wait on him a little bit because he did just have a serious ACL injury. I checked in on that with people in the know at the Combine, and it sounds like he's progressing well. There is a possibility that he will be ready for the start of the season, which from when I started this to now, a guy can get hurt at the end of the season and be ready for the next year is unheard of.
Uh-huh.
I love this kid so much, and you pair him and that bruising style that he has with the top-end speed with Keaton Mitchell, and that gives you what you need out of that backfield for Baltimore. Then at 95?
Yes. No, 93.
93.
93.
Like I said, some of my numbers got off because Miami had to forfeit a pick again. Javon Solomon, edge out of Troy. I love that kid so much that it is pitiful. And I just feel like one of these good, really good drafting teams like Baltimore is going to take a crack at him at the end of the third round. And they're going to stand him up, and they're going to let his natural bend and his ability to get around the edge take over. And you're going to sit here 5 years from now and go, how do they keep doing that? How do they keep finding these guys that they play a situational role and they become absolute stars?
Yep. We will jump to the NFC West next. Obviously, top of the heap here with draft capital is the Arizona Cardinals.
Colin Greene asked a question that I think I need to touch on while we've got a few seconds here.
Yep.
He said he likes Braylon Trice better than Robinson. I'm not going to lie to you, I do too. We're in a vast minority. Braylon Trice went way later in this mock than I expected. I keep seeing him in, how do I put this delicately? I keep seeing him in the first round of analysts that weren't at the Combine, and then he's nowhere to be found in 2-round mocks of guys that were at the Combine, and I think that tells you everything you need to know. There were some, and I can't confirm them, which is why I'm not going to say them here. There were some things that made me a little bit nervous about him. I love the tape, and it could all be smoke. You never know. There could be a team that really wants him somewhere in the second round that's throwing things out there that just aren't true.
The Arizona Cardinals had the 4th pick, had the 27th pick, so they got Marvin Harrison Jr., and then they took Johnny Newton, the defensive tackle, at 27. Now they have 35. And they have 66. And they have 71. They have 90. So a lot for the Cardinals to be able to do here to kick off the 3-round mocks for the NFC West.
Arizona fans, if you like the first round, you're going to like the second, third round. I guarantee it.
Of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you, so you can walk and run and climb stairs and play golf and move again pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. This is an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. Take action now and live your best life this spring and summer. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
It's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
What's up? I'm John Wall.
And I'm CJ Toledano, and we're starting a new podcast presented by DraftKings called Point Game.
Hey, you know, like at camps and stuff like this, you take the ball out, you ain't getting the ball back. Like, you the last one up the court, they already did their thing. So I stopped there, and I just got into a rhythm and started hooping.
If King of the Court happened next season, who do you think would win?
I just think KD, bro. Like, there's nothing you can do with him.
Check out Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The madness begins in Asheville. Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville, March 7th through 11th for the 2024 Ingalls SoCon Basketball Championships. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournaments. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville box office. Get your tickets today.
The Sportsocracy.
You're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
And a welcome back into the Sportsocracy, CSPN Asheville. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, alongside as always, and we are coming to you live on the YouTubes. Post 2024 NFL Combine mock draft. Second and third rounds here. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West. They have a whole mess of picks.
Yes,
They've already made two in the first round.
MHJ and Jerzon Johnny Newton.
And what did they add at 35?
Troy Franklin.
Holy smokes. What do they add at 66?
Adisa Isaac.
It's 71?
Chris Abrams Drain.
Ooh. And then 90.
Zach Zenner.
That's not too bad.
Mic drop.
Not too bad. That's a whole lot of needs filled.
The only thing I did bypass Tavondre Sweat for Troy Franklin. I felt like they need another receiver for that offense. Because I will just tell you, I would listen to, hey, this could have been better. The only thing I will say is, how many rookies do I want on the field at one time?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I ran into, is that I'm looking at the defense going, all three of these guys are probably going to start. And if not start, then play serious snaps.
All right, continuing with the NFC West. Next up in the draft capital pecking order here, the Los Angeles Rams. Shocker that they don't have, they have actually have picks this year.
Well, they have a first-round pick. If a child was born the last time they made a first-round pick, that kid is probably already trying to see the scrambled channel on the cable. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think
you should change the password on your computer because that kid's trying to find stuff.
Yeah. Number 52 though, they have that selection.
Let's see, the Rams, Patrick Paul. They took Terry and Arnold in the first round. Patrick Paul, offensive tackle out of Houston. In the second round, Jonah Ellis, edge rusher from Utah in the third, and then Jaden Hicks, the safety out of Washington, at the end of the third.
For the comp pick.
Yeah.
They're at 100 overall.
That really, I lean to the defense because they've done a good job of throwing things against the wall to see what sticks, but they have a lot of situational players. I need some more dogs, and they've got to have a left tackle.
Yeah,
they have to have a tackle, and Patrick Paul is probably the last one that I feel good about playing on the left side.
A 3-round mock draft for the San Francisco 49ers. At number 31, they had Graham Barton out of Duke.
Oh, yeah, I think you're going to like this if you're a 49er fan.
Number 63.
Cam Hart, cornerback out of Notre Dame.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it is a good pick. People don't view him the same way I do. He's a converted wide receiver. I just think he fits. He fits a lot of different schemes, but you can mold him. The question is, how long is it going to take? I love the talent. It's just, you might have to be a little patient with him.
And then they've got 2 picks at the end of the 3rd round at 94 and 98.
Brandon Dorlus out of Oregon. Cedric Gray, linebacker out of North Carolina. Gray is the most 49ers linebacker I think I've ever seen. And he may not be a contributor right away, maybe a special teams guy, but he does strike me as the kind of player that San Francisco, or one of the teams that run that kind of scheme, will draft and kind of stash for a couple years. And then next thing you know, they're really productive. Brandon Dorlus, the floor on him is scary, but the upside is terrifying. Mm-hmm. And you put him in a situation like San Francisco where they rotate in defensive line pieces like that. I think that's an ideal fit for him.
Yeah. Seattle Seahawks do not have a 2nd-round pick, but they do have a couple in the 3rd. So at 16, they selected
Jackson Powers
Johnson, the center out of Oregon. And then at 78,
Leonard Taylor III, defensive tackle out of Florida. He kind of falls into that. You've got some qualities that are Jag, just a guy. But I think if you developed him over time, I could see a path that he really develops into something.
Mm-hmm. And then at number 81, the Seahawks would take who?
Javon Bullard, safety out of Georgia.
That feels late to me.
Safety kind of has the same problem that defensive tackle does. Every single one of them. Well, I said that poorly. It has the same problem with one huge difference. Mm-hmm. Every safety in this class is scheme specific. Even Tyler Nubin, who's my number 1 safety in the class, there's only a handful of teams that are going to pick any of them. So if you get into a situation like Seattle, perfect example, they have picked till 78. And this is one of the spots that I think he fits.
Mm-hmm.
You might have 10 of those in the rest of the league on the high side. Well, if you get a few more teams that fall into that scenario, then they could fall like a rock. Yeah. And it's not that I don't like him. It's just safety is, A, this is not a good safety class. B, safety has been devalued to such a point, and there are a lot of lottery tickets that you can take in day 3.
All right, let's switch over to the AFC South. We'll pick up there with the 3-round post-combine mock drafts. The AFC South, the top team in the AFC South as far as draft capital is concerned, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So
what's showing on my power ranking here?
This is one of those that if you're a real lover of college football, you're going to like what they did here. Brian Thomas Jr. at 17, the wide receiver out of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle out of Michigan, in the 2nd round.
At 48.
And
then at 96,
Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker out of Clemson.
That's some good stock, at least.
It is. That is one of the funny things is you got three kids that are all juniors.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are the children of kids that were Pro Bowlers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The only one of those, Jenkins is a perfect fit. Absolutely perfect fit. I think he can be a stereotypical nose in the NFL. Jeremiah Trotter is the hard evaluation for me because what he's good at, he's so good at. The problem is I don't know if he'll ever be any good in space. And there were times that he looked really bad in space. He was one of the guys that I went into the week going, okay, I need to get a better read on where he fits because I have him as a top, just outside the top 50 player. And the more people I talk to, the more I talk to that were outside of the top 100. And that was kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around.
Mm-hmm. Tennessee Titans. They have the 7th pick and the 38th pick.
End of message. Repeat the line.
Yes. So at number 7, they took Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
And now they'll follow that up at 38 at the top of the second round with
Kingsley Suamatea, offensive tackle outside of or out of BYU.
Mm-hmm. Is this just the tackle that fell to them?
It's not so much that. He was really fluid at the combine, and he was a riser to a lot of people, and I think teams around the league are going to look at him and go, you're raw. We're going to have to be a little patient with you. He may have to start on the right, but I do think he transitions over to the left at some point. But what I saw at the combine was enough for me to go, yeah, that he has to play guard thing, that's not going to happen. That kid's playing on the outside. It's just a question of where. And if you put him on the outside of somebody that is as technologically sound as Peter Skoronski, I think it gives him the best chance to develop.
Let's go with the Indianapolis Colts. They had the 15th pick,
which was Nate Wiggins.
They also have the 46th pick,
Troy Fautano.
And then the 82nd pick.
Sorry, I don't know why I have to say his name like
I don't either.
I have to say his name like he is a surfer that hangs out with Justin Herbert. They also had 80 from the trade with Cincinnati.
Ah, yes. I forgot about that one.
Brendan Rice, wide receiver out of USC, and Braylon Trice out of Washington. And yes, I just figured out how funny that is that they took Brendan Rice and Braylon Trice.
Mm-hmm.
I am not as high on Brendan Rice. I think if he had any other last name, we wouldn't be talking about him this high. But there have been some. I saw enough out of him at the Senior Bowl that I think he will go in the top 100. And I stopped trying to shoehorn him into San Francisco because it made me chuckle.
All right, and then finally in the AFC South, the Houston Texans had the 23rd pick. They took Byron Murphy to pair up with Will Anderson.
This is a class that sounded a lot better 2 weeks ago.
At number 59,
Junior Colson, linebacker out of Michigan. I love the fit with Christian Harris. You know me, I'm a big fan of complementary drafting where I can get even more or try to salvage the talent out of a player by giving them somebody that does what they can't do.
Yes.
Those two fit perfectly together. And 86, Cameron Kinchins, safety out of Miami. He did not have a good week. And I think he's going to be on the backside of Bullock and Newbin and all of the safeties that we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a coach that I think can get the most out of him in spite of some physical limitations, it would be D'Amico Ryans.
All right, it is the Sportsocracy. This is the post-2024 NFL Combine 3-round mock draft going team by team here through them. We'll continue up next here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by ServingCareers.com. More than 65 completely free hospitality training courses are yours for the taking. Get what you need to go where you want. Find your path at ServingCareers.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Worry less about spring cleaning and call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Mention ESPN Asheville, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129 plus a free hallway. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Woody and Wilcox.
All the holidays are pet holidays now.
Is that what it
Get ready for Cinco de Mayo.
You and your dog doing shots together.
Right. So hard to teach your dog to suck the lime.
Weekday mornings starting at 6 on Asheville's Real Rock. Rock 105.1.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you right now, like Alternative Rewind, where all rock began. Just search Alternative Rewind and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
You might not know this, but the Ingalls Bakery is actually a bakery. As in, we bake things, really delicious things. Things like crusty breads just waiting for that scrumptious strawberry jam. Apple fritters to pair perfectly with that morning cup of coffee. Cakes for any occasion, customized to your precise standards. And did we mention the cookies? It's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from. White Haze, Eat Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We are back on ESPN Asheville 2024 post-combine 3-round mock drafts. Again, another thank you to Ingalls Markets for helping me and Jeremy fund the old trip to Indianapolis this past week. It was a whole lot of fun, and we're taking, just a note, we're taking the show on the road once again on Friday. We're going to be live from the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, from the opening day there of the SoCon men's tournament. We'll be down there the afternoon session of the women's tournament, and then the men's session that night, and get your tickets for the Ingalls SoCon basketball championships at SoConHoops.com. Continuing with the mock draft here, going division by division with the second and third rounds. We'll start in the NFC East. The team with the most capital in the East is the Washington Commanders. No shocker there.
Yeah, and Washington is, it gets reasonably intense for them.
Well, they did go quarterback at number 2.
Yes,
with Drake May. So at 36, they're going offensive lineman.
Peyton Wilson, linebacker, NC State.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that he's going to go in the first round because of the medical. But for me, that's such a big need for Washington. The offensive line, and I'll go ahead and tell you, they do take an offensive lineman, but they address more of the line through free agency.
Okay.
Because what would scare me, they have a ton of money. And what would scare me is putting, say, 3 rookies on an offensive line in front of Drake May. Yeah, 3 years from now, that might be fine, but you may have also gotten Drake May killed by then. So I want to go spend veteran dollars, free agent dollars on the line, and I'll address everything else largely through the draft.
Okay.
And there's more linemen going to hit the market than I would have ever thought.
All right, so at 40.
Jatavian Sanders, tight end out of Texas. That part hasn't changed.
That'll solve a problem there after Logan Thomas was cut loose. And then 67.
Jalen Wright, running back out of Tennessee.
Ooh, that's a lot of talent for the Commanders.
Thunder and lightning. Gives you Brian Thomas that can run between the tackles, Jalen Wright that can get out in space and hurt you. Also gives you 2 guys that can really help you in the passing game out of the backfield.
New York Giants.
Oh, you forgot one.
Oh, did I?
100.
I'm sorry. I did forget one. 101.
Cooper Beebe, guard out of Kansas State.
Okay.
That's a plug-and-play immediate starter that would play, to me, on the inside of a veteran offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, if I'm going quarterback, I'm going vet offensive line. If I go young offensive lineman, like take Alt, trade down and take Alt or take Fasciano, then I'm going to look for a veteran backup quarterback to Sam Howell.
The New York Giants, they took Roma Dunze at number 6. They also have 39, 47, and 70 in this 3-round exercise. So where do they go at 39?
Sorry, I lost my page. Kyrie Jackson, cornerback out of Oregon. That dude is not of this world. I saw him in the hall at the combine, and then I was around when he spoke, and the more he spoke, the more I went, I need to go a little deeper here. I don't know that I had a bigger riser than Kyrie Jackson because, and I'll use Red C's point here, there are a lot of guys in this class that feel like they can only do one thing. His point was to guys playing in the slot. Be careful saying that a guy can only play in the slot. You have to more look at the why of that, and that would be what I would say about Chris Abrams-Drain. But with Kyrie Jackson, he's big, he's physical, he's fast, he's all of it. He's got every bit of it, and I'm not sure that you're not just scratching the surface on what you've got of him.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite players in this class at this point. Chris Braswell, edge rusher out of Alabama. I'm getting to the point that I think B.J. Ojulari might be a lost cause because at this point he's not really good at anything. I thought he would get better. I thought he would get better as a pass rusher with Kayvon Thibodeau on the other side. He was one of the 10 lowest rated edge rushers in the NFL last year. And when I went back and really dug into that, it was shocking how many opportunities he just flat out missed. So I'm going to try to salvage something with him, giving me another edge that I can kind of rotate with him. Now you're not getting all of the pass rush downs, but maybe taking your snap count down from 45 to 50, taking it down to the high 20s, low 30s. I might be able to get the most out of both of you.
All right. Was that 70?
No, that's 47. They have 2 second-round picks.
We still got to do 70.
Michael Hall, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. I don't know why he lost so much momentum this week. If it may very well just be that there were so many defensive tackles that were so good. But he was one of the stars of the Senior Bowl, and I don't think I heard his name a single time this week. That gives you another piece on that defense. I know this sounds weird. I'm more worried about the defense with the Giants than I am the offense. Daniel Jones comes back. Who knows? I've got a really good offensive coach. Maybe I strike lightning in a bottle. The line gets healthy. I can at least score some points. That defense is B-A-double-D bad. And now I just lost Wink Martindale.
Let's turn our attention to the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 22, they got Leatu Latu, who just fell in their lap at 22. Then they have 50 and 53 and 97 in the third round. So the 2 second-round picks.
Jalen Polk, wide receiver out of Washington. Kamari Lassiter, cornerback out of Georgia. Oh, I told you they were going to get them a bulldog. Bulldog.
Yep. You needed one of them. Can't have enough dogs.
And Jalen Polk gives you a legit third receiver. The thought of him, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith and how flexible that is and how versatile it is and how many different guys can play out of the slot, how many guys can play on the outside. I love the idea of that with Kellen Moore. I still don't love that that's your offensive coordinator, but there's nothing I can do about that at this point, so I got to make the best of it.
97.
Marist LaFowl, linebacker out of Notre Dame. Little raw, but has the high-end intangibles, insanely fast. I want to say he had the fastest recorded speed of any linebacker at the Senior Bowl, and Peyton Wilson was there. So, but he is raw, and you will have to give him a year, I think, to develop. He'll be a special teamer for a year, but I think you can develop him into a plus starter.
Lastly, in the NFC East, team with the least capital in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys.
Took Xavier Worthy at 24. TJ Tampa, cornerback out of Iowa State. Blake Corum, running back out of Michigan. You got to have somebody. And I don't know if they bring back Tony Pollard, but even if they do, you got to have somebody between the tackles. And look, Rico Dowdle did an admirable job this year, but without the thumper, and I mean true thumper, which I think Blake Corum can be, that can really take workload off of Tony Pollard, there was just no shot.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, he looked terrible.
I like him filling that role with the Dallas Cowboys. I think that could work just fine. I'll be curious to see if his coach tries to snag him up with the Chargers. And speaking of, let's go AFC West next. Team at the top of the AFC West with the most capital. It's the Chargers.
The Chargers are pretty easy because they only have 3 picks. They're all their picks. You got Joe Alt at 5, Devondre Sweat at 37, Ricky Pearsall at 69.
Sounds like you sewed it up right there.
And no, I'm not a Chargers fan before anybody tells me that.
But you sewed up a lot of needs there.
Okay.
You can stop the run. You can run the ball. You did it all.
There's one thing that seemed to be a prevailing thought. And I know Cardinal fans are a little irritated that I didn't give them Devondre Sweat. Let me tell you why. He was in the best shape probably of the last 2 years at the Combine. And it was still very obvious that by the end of that workout, he was cooked. And it was a consistent narrative that I heard from people around the league is you should really pump the brakes on Devondre Sweat. We know you love him. We know the high side is really, really good. Just look at the history of guys that are that size and that athletic and what happens to ankles and what happens to knees. That's all I'll say. Now, with the Chargers, I know the talent I have. I need to get healthy. I've got a coach. So even if he only plays 5 years, I don't really care. With the Cardinals, I need longer-term solutions. That was my thought. You don't have to agree with it.
Next most draft capital in the AFC West is the Las Vegas Raiders. At number 13, they took Michael Penix Jr., quarterback out of Washington. Who they take at 44?
Jordan Morgan, left tackle out of Arizona. He, to me, is a fringe first-round pick, but will go in the top 45 picks. And I think this is a worst-case scenario. I do think he can play on the left side. I do think he can be a left tackle. But he doesn't have to be off the jump. He can start on the right side with the Raiders as a replacement to Jermaine Illuminor, who I do believe is going to leave. And then in the 3rd round, Malachi Corley, wide receiver out of Western Kentucky. I want to play pick-and-pop offense with Michael Penix, and I need another receiver to do that. I'm not sure Hunter Renfrow ever plays another down for the Raiders, and this is more the type of receiver that I think they're looking for.
The Denver Broncos, next up. At number 12, they took J.J. McCarthy, so they got a quarterback. And then they have a pick at 76.
Muhammad Kamara, edge rusher, Colorado State.
It's Kamara.
I will stab you right now.
He had a good combine.
He did. Were you starting to understand what it was I saw in him by the time we left?
Yes, no doubt. No doubt. By the time we left, I saw exactly what you were talking about.
The film on him is intoxicating. And it should tell you something. People couldn't see this watching us on the YouTube stream. We had Denver guys in front of us and to the right of us. And as soon as I said his name and how much I loved him, the guy in front of us started like throwing his hands up cheering. And he told me afterward, I just like hearing somebody that's not in the state of Colorado that understands how good that kid is and that he's going to go into the league and have a serious role.
Finally, for the AFC West, 3-round mock draft here, Kansas City Chiefs, 32. They took Keon Coleman out of Florida State at 64.
Rook Aurora
out of Clemson.
I cannot pronounce his name, and I don't even try. It's got a lot of ors.
Okora Horo.
Akora Horoho.
Yep. I don't think that's how you say it.
Nope.
But that's how you say it now.
Definitively it's not. He had a good combine.
Yes.
And that's kind of I don't think they'll let Chris Jones out of the building, but if they do, that would be a nice piece to have long term.
And at 95.
Kalen Bullock, safety out of USC.
All right, there you go. Mock draft, 3-round mock draft for the Kansas City Chiefs. Take a break. When we come back, we've got 2 divisions to go.
And I still have about 8 minutes of voice left, so this should be fun.
Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, March 7th through 11th for the 2024 Ingles Southern Conference Basketball Championship. Experience fun for the whole family as your favorite teams compete for the championship and a berth at the NCAA tournament. Get your discounted tickets to the 2024 Ingles SoCon Basketball Championship at your local neighborhood Ingles markets. For more information, visit SoConHoops.com. The 2024 Ingles Southern Conference Basketball Championship at SoConHoops.com.
Compassionate care is what you want when a loved one requires short-term rehabilitation or long-term care. That's what sets Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation's 18 North Carolina locations apart from the rest. At Sandstone, residents experience a safe community and family environment where employees are treated with respect, delivering the same care they would for their loved ones. We welcome you to tour the closest location to you that delivers compassionate care for all. Discover the Sandstone difference today at sanstonehealth.com.
When we think about our health, we usually think about exercising and eating healthier, but don't forget that part of your overall health is your dental health. And y'all, if it's been 6 months or longer since your last visit, you need to get in to see the dentist. And Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, they offer general family dentistry as well as Invisalign orthodontics, Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, and more. Dr. Merrill and the staff at Asheville Smiles, they're taking new patients, so get your smile back on track. World-class dental care with a hometown feel, AshevilleSmiles.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
We are back on ESPN Asheville to close out this Monday, this mock draft Monday here on ESPN Asheville post 2024 NFL Scouting Combine mock draft from at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene. If you don't like any of the picks, you can obviously hit him up on Twitter and just bug the crap out of him.
That's fine. I answer all those at ESPN Draft Nerd. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I know these players better than most. You know your team's better than I do. So if there's some under-the-radar third-string defensive tackle, you'd be shocked. Puka Nacua. How many times did I tell you that name in the preseason?
Bunch.
You know why? Because I had like 5 Rams fans that were messaging me on a daily basis going, this kid is really, really good. Do that. 100% do that. I'm one dude. I'm only one man.
Let's go here. NFC North. Rapid fire Chicago Bears. They had the 1 and the 9 pick. They did the trade. Justin Fields goes to Atlanta in this exercise. Caleb Williams was the pick at 1. Then they got Jared Verse from Florida State at 9. Do they get a wide receiver here at 75?
They do. They also have the second-round pick from Atlanta.
Oh, forgot about the trade. Yeah.
Zach Frazier. You said the trade, then I forgot about the trade. Zach Frazier.
I didn't have the number in front of me. All right, Zach Frazier.
Center out of West Virginia. I think that's plug-and-play starter. Lucas Patrick, not too good. And he is clearly, to me, the second-best center in this class. And then at 75, Jamari Thrash, wide receiver out of Louisville. It blows my mind that kid's going to go midway through the third. Mm-hmm. Because he's so talented, but there's so many receivers that some of them are going to fall. And that's the one that I think falls to Chicago there.
Green Bay Packers, number 25. They selected J.C. Latham out of Alabama. All right, now at 41.
Tyler Nubin, safety, Minnesota. I think him and Darnell Savage could form just a tremendous safety pairing.
Mm-hmm. 58.
Especially now that they figured out how to use Darnell Savage. Kyron Amagagi, offensive tackle out of Yale. He's raw. He is raw. But if you give him a year, maybe 2, to really get acclimated to the NFL game, I think that line would be set for the long term.
All right, that's the 2 second-round picks. Now the 2 third-round picks. They get the first one at 88.
Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle out of LSU.
And then at 91?
Well, that's the 3-4 end. Then the nose tackle, McKinley Jackson out of Texas A&M. Jackson is one of the, and I'm going to talk about him a lot. Wingo was so impressive at how mobile he was that I can't stop watching him going, that's a guy that's going to play. You're going to play on the line, but you're not going to play at the position you're used to. So it may take a year for him to really achieve his potential. McKinley Jackson, you were just coached so poorly. There's so much talent there. The only question is there a team that can get it out? And is it playing at nose tackle?
After getting Quinyon Mitchell, the number 1 corner in the class at number 11, the Minnesota Vikings only have one more pick in this exercise at number 42.
Bo Nix, quarterback, Oregon.
So you didn't have to take a quarterback in the first round, and well, this is a guy you can afford to bring him up behind Kirk Cousins, who will be staying in this exercise.
I believe so. And that gives you the quarterback of the future, and you can be a little more patient with him, which I think is really important.
All right, and then the Detroit Lions at number 29, they took Enos Rakestraw. Then at 61, who do they take?
Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, Florida State. You give that big of a receiver who ran that fast, I think they're going to be so hard to stop, and that really brings something out of Jameson Williams, which is why I did that.
Yep. 73.
Dwayne Carter, defensive tackle out of Duke. Does he not just feel like a Dan Campbell guy?
Yes.
He does to me. Just got a nasty streak to him.
And then 92.
Gabriel Murphy, edge rusher out of UCLA. There's a lot of good there, but I think in the NFL, there's things for him to work through. I had him much higher in my last mock. There's just not a ton of hype behind him this week.
All right, finally, AFC East.
They would start with my Jets because I guarantee you they have less capital than anybody in this league.
Just about.
Ola Fashanu and one more. The other pick at 71 is Jermaine Burton, wide receiver out of Alabama.
Okay.
The talent is there. There is a question as to why could 2 of the best coaches in college football not get it out of him. And there are some huge red flags about his attitude.
Buffalo Bills.
A.D. Mitchell at 29. Christian Haynes, the guard out of UConn, at 61. That gives you a double guard pairing of Haynes and Osiris Torrance. That's 2 of my favorite guards 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to run the ball pretty aggressively. And at 99, Marshawn Nealand, edge out of Western Michigan.
Okay.
Everybody in the league speaks positively of him. I don't see it yet, but I'm hoping if I keep watching the tape, eventually it'll jump out at me.
The Miami Dolphins had the 21st pick, which they used on Amarius Mims.
Correct.
And then at 55.
Ladd McConkey, wide receiver out of Georgia.
Well, now you're going to make me get in some Miami Dolphins gear. Two Bulldogs at once.
That just gives you a lot of flexibility. McConkey to me is a slot receiver, but that allows you to play Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the outside and really get into some creative things with that offense.
And then finally, that brings us to the New England Patriots.
You took Jaden Daniels at 3, Roman Wilson, wide receiver out of Michigan at 34, and Cedric Von Prawn, center out of Georgia, or center or guard, whichever one you want to use him at.
Interior offensive lineman.
Yes, at 68. And that would give me, and if you think I'm a homer, just understand that one of my favorite classes is my team's biggest rival because I love all 3 of those dudes.
As you should. That would be a great scenario for the New England Patriots in the 2024 NFL Draft. We will have all of your Draftmas coverage continuing here in the Sportsocracy leading up to the big day at the end of April.
And that's a big day at the end of April, but there's a big day coming at the beginning of next week. It's March 11th, and that's the day that sports wagering in this here state of North Carolina goes legal. And we want to tell you about our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top sports books. It's coming here to North Carolina. And not only is it coming to North Carolina, to celebrate that, they want to give back to you, the loyal listeners of this here station. New customers who download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today using code WPEK will score up to $300 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet once we're live. That's all you got to do. You go to DraftKings, you tell them that you heard them on WPEK by using that promo code, and they give you free dollars. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code WPEK to get up to $300 in bonus bets once mobile betting goes live. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, coming soon to North Carolina on March 11th. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only, new customers only, subject to regulatory licensing requirements, maximum $300 in bonus bets, not available for use until March 11th, 2024. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after assurance. Deposit wagering and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
That'll do it for us here in the Sportsocracy today. We will be back with you on Wednesday. Tomorrow will be primary day. So I'll be involved in the late night coverage tomorrow night with WWBNC. Tune in for all your election coverage. 2570 WWBNC. In the other case, tune in back with us at noon on Wednesday here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Unseasonably warm for us out here again this afternoon. Mix of clouds and sun. Temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, 10-plus degrees above average. Partly to even mostly cloudy skies here tonight with late-night fog, middle to upper 40s. Morning fog for tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny skies and unseasonably warm. Chance for a late-day shower, upper 60s. Better rain chances Tuesday night, Wednesday. Cooler Wednesday, upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl is here. Fries, mashed potatoes, cheese, and bacon come together to make a smashable snack that's only $3.49. It's finger-licking good.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.